This WAFL live stream is proudly brought to you by Ross's Discount Home Centre. Front Row Screens, your local streaming superheroes. And CD Dodd, scrap metal recyclers.
Sunny conditions as we welcome you to Mineral Resources Park here in Laff Lane. It is the final home and away fixture, round 22 of the OPTUS WAFL season for 2021, and two traditional rivals going head to head today. Matt Chetchins is my name. We welcome you here for the Perth Demons taking on the West Perth Falcons. Well, one of these sides, and it is the visitors, well, their season will go at least one more round as they have already booked their spot in the finals for 2021. And the Demons, well, it has to be said, a season to forget for the Redlegs. Tyler Keitel, well, congratulations to him. He's basically sewn up the Bernie Naylor medal, and he has had a fantastic season. There was a few doubts about him coming into this final round of the season with a shoulder injury, but he looks to have overcome that, and he takes his spot at full forward for the Cardis this afternoon. So both teams just going through their pre-game preparations. We're expecting a high of 19 degrees here. The ground is bathed in sunshine, and the patrons are starting to fill the gates. On the other side of the break, myself, Matt Chetchins, will be joined by my good colleague and Luke Worthington. We'll run our eye over the two lineups for this final home and away season game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back at Laff Lane Park on the other side of these messages.
Today, we'll make sure the Miller family confidently picks the car their growing family needs, and that they get a great deal. Over the next few years, we'll make sure their car still performs at its best. And when Abby's old enough to drive, we'll look after her too. Newtown Toyota. Our family's proud to be part of your family's journey. Contact us today at Newtown Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Welcome back to Mineral Resources Park, the final home and away game for the OPTUS 2021 WAFL season. Matt Chetchins here in the commentary box and joined by Luke Worthington. Luke, it's a bit warm up here. It's going to be a fantastic game.
Beautiful conditions for footy, and so much on the line this afternoon in this round 22 of the OPTUS WAFL. Perth, a little bit on the line today, actually, with a loss and a win by the West Coast Eagles over South Fremantle, as unlikely as that seems. They could drop to over South Fremantle. The Eagles are playing. They could drop to the wooden spoon, the Demons today, if results don't go their way. So quite a bit to play for this afternoon at home in front of their crowd for the last game of the season.
All right, we're just about to run our eye over the Hungry Jacks lineups for this afternoon. Round 22 here, as currently on screen is one of the biggest ball magnets in the competition in Aaron Black. The Falcons, number 1 in the competition for both kicks and marks, and this man on screen currently first in disposals. And alongside Nelson as well, they're going to provide to be a big handful, you would suggest, as we zoom in there on the Perth Demons outfit. And not good reading for the Demons. They've lost their last 10 games of this season, and it doesn't get any better as far as playing West Perth at home. So here against West Perth at Laflane Park, the Demons have lost the last 11 of 15. Now, the other game was a draw. So Perth hasn't beaten the Falcons here at Laflane or Mineral Resources Park since 2004. As we have a look at the Hungry Jacks lineup very shortly. We're having a look now at Shane Nelson, who is first in disposals. Black second in the competition. But look, the way that Perth going at the moment, they haven't really been able to handcuff any of their opponents, and both of those men that we've identified as we have a look, thanks to Hungry Jacks, the Perth team lineup, and you would suggest that maybe Brady Gray will get that job. He is a fantastic two-way player in the WAFL, originally from Tasmania, spent time on the Eagles and Dockers list, and he's going to have a big ask of him this afternoon.
Yeah, Brady Gray's been a standout performer in a side that has struggled quite a lot over the season, and it's going to be a big task for him today. There's a lot on the line for them, like I mentioned before, and it's going to be standout performances from players like him that are going to bring it home.
So Christian Ayres will have to do the ruck duty. I was looking forward to seeing Jordan Reid. He's played 9 games this season. He had 164 hitouts from just 9 games, originally from Mount Barker, but he's out of the lineup. So Ayres is going to have to do a lot of that work. Now, Fraser McInnes, he started so promisingly last week. The Demons kicked 8 goals unanswered in the first term and lost to Peel Thunder, and that man McInnes was let off the chain, so he's going to start at full forward. Thank you, Jacks. Let's have a look at the West Perth team lineup, and their spine is as strong as you will ever seen. Hamilton playing at fullback. Pegararo's had an outstanding season. Keitel, who's listed at centre half forward, will float back into the goal square as well, and O'Donnell. But then have a look at the ruck. You've got Delaporte, Black and Nelson, those 2 players that we identified. And even the interchange bench with Blake Wilhelm, a multiple Team of the Year nominee, and you also throw in Pearce and Potente, and they might do some damage, and it's important that they put Perth away today to get a bit of momentum into the final series. Yeah,
this is a big game for them. They could fall with a loss and a big win by Swan Districts in their game. So quite a bit to play for still for them. They definitely want to be locking up that 4th spot, and the way to do it without anything silly going on for them is to just win the game today.
There have been question marks over the West Perth form of late, because they had a 1-goal win against South Fremantle, but they suffered a 46-point loss to East Fremantle last week and a 20-point loss to Subiaco back in round 17. So a little bit patchy. And there's that man that we identified in the Hungry Jacks lineups in Fraser McInnes. Has played numerous games, obviously at AFL level with the West Coast Eagles, and as we said, he will operate out of the goal square today, and will have to mix it up with theirs. And he'll have to mix it up in the ruck department. The Perth forward line has struggled. I mean, 148 goals from just 17 games. That's a league worst.
Yeah, it's not even close. You know, they really lost a bit of firepower up there when Logan McDonald got drafted to Sydney for sure.
So just having a look at the West Perth forward line. They're the number 1 in the competition for goal-kicking accuracy, 57%. However, in that shock loss last week, they kicked 2 goals 23 and kicked themselves out of it in that opening term. They kicked 2 goals 9. Well, expect West Perth to win plenty of the football today. The Demons will have to up their tackling, and their defenders will need to be watertight. The final game that we'll see of the Redlegs for season 2021, thanks to Optus. You're on front row screens as the opening bounce is underway. Matt Chechen's calling alongside Luke Worthington, and right on cue it was Black. That hand pass will be chopped off, and the higher tackle is going to go the way of the home side. Zach Sanderson from Kalani out there in the Mortlock League. Just his 4th game in the league. Transfers out to one of the more experienced campaigners in Sinclair. Tumbles one inside 50. Great gather there from Stubbs. Fed it off to Carey, who floats one across goal, out of bounds on the full. Christian Carey can hold his head up high, Luke. 25 goals, 17, leading that category for the Redlegs.
Yeah, by quite a considerable amount too.
So no real heat on the kick in. Goes over the head of Ayres, and it's going to be chopped off by the Demons. So Gray screaming for the ball over the left shoulder here. So they're going to have to get on with it. They go long and high towards the right forward pocket. Floating back, taking a fantastic mark is Fraser McInnes. So first opportunity for him.
That was a beautiful mark, running back.
Yep.
With the flight, McInnes, and a bit of a tough angle here. Looks to be probably about 35 or so out, pretty tight. Leaning on 45 degrees. We'll see how he goes. Wind doesn't look to be doing too much either.
Perth notorious for their slow start. They really come to life after the game's put to bed in the fourth quarter. This for the dream start.
Beautiful.
And he raises, gives it the double fist pump, and why not? He's kicked his 6th of the season. And the Demons with the first, and that will give them a little bit of confidence. And it's taken them all of 1 3/4 minutes, thanks to KCA Site Services Replay.
Their slow start, they really come to.
And also Newtown Toyota, get the Newtown feeling. Have a look at that. This for the terrific ball drop. And no issue with tracking the scores today, because the new scoreboard here at Mineral Resources Park, it is the best in the competition.
Easily. It looks unreal. You know, I always thought Leaderville's scoreboard was relatively nice, but this has stepped the game up significantly. So, as we see McInnes there on the screen, just about to return to the middle.
Well, Mark Hamilton's no mug either at full back, so that's going to be a tremendous matchup.
Kick out of there by Gray's going to travel inside 50. They went up for it, but it's hit the deck. West Perth going to try and clear it out of trouble here. Moulton stabs it through the corridor, just went off some hands, and the call was a push in the back. Advantage is going to be played by West Perth as they switch it out to the near side of the ground. Kick inside by Hobley, didn't get all of it, and well, that was called high.
Well, they've played the kick down the ground, and that was just shoulder on shoulder. So a couple of questionable decisions, early stages from the umpires, and this man is absolutely gun barrel straight in front of the big sticks.
Tyler Keitel, 62 goals, 30 on the season. This to extend that impressive tally. And it's just going to sail across a little bit and be rushed over the line for West Perth's first minor score of the afternoon. 1 goal zip, 6 Perth. They lead West Perth. No goals, 1. And clipped in the head there was Nelson. And the free kick will be paid straight to him.
Perth second worst in the competition for giving away free kicks, so they'll need to be disciplined this afternoon.
Handball went out wide for Pecoraro, kicked inside, beautiful intercept mark was taken and was called play on by the umpire. Might have been touched before it went into Singh's hand. Ball up inside 50 for West Perth, hitting the deck. Riddick is gonna go over the boundary, and that would have been a beautiful shot on goal, but he was just over the line. Boundary umpire did a good job to spot that one.
He has been enigmatic throughout the season. When he's on, he's one of the best forwards in the competition.
Absolutely. As we get back underway, Ruck's going up for it. The tap was won down by Ayres. Getting it off the deck. Black's there, and he gets carried all the way over the line. Beautiful tackle there by Connor Singh.
And one way to keep one of the best ball winners with his disposals down, if you just carry him out of the playing surface.
Back underway inside 50. Ayres going up for it with O'Donnell. Ball went to ground, and it's going to be a free kick paid to West Perth one more time. So
almost giving away a free kick a minute, Perth at the moment. That's the 4th indiscretion already.
Black kicking it into the hot spot. Going up for it was Keitel, but a beautiful mark is brought in by Sinclair, and he's going to slow things down and look for options to exit 50.
As many injuries as that they've had throughout the season, the Demons, he was probably one of the biggest ones missing. He plays that lovely quarterback role across half-back, and generally such a fantastic ball user. So another chance for the Demons to reload from the back pocket. Tarkin Brogan Henry from the Beverley Football Club, the mighty Redbacks. Shout out to anyone watching in the Avon competition. Big grand final tomorrow. Know the Cunderdin Magpies will be squaring off tomorrow. I'm pretty sure against Quairading, so we wish that both teams all the luck there. A lot of the players playing in the WAFL. Great breeding ground for players. Here come the Demons. They look good across half-back early stages. Coming out presenting on the lead is Stubbs. Like his work rate. He's a good forward line tackler, can take a good mark. So they move it further wide. They're going to chip down the line to McInnes. Now Giblet offers his services on the lead. Kick was just floated a little too high. West Perth get back in numbers. Guess who? Aaron Black. Coming off 32 disposals and 2 goals against the Sharks last round. Well done, Sinclair. Put his left fist through the football, and he'll be more than content to see that trickle over the line. And the Demons have made a bright start at the moment. Yep. They lead by 5 points.
Haven't made it easy for themselves either.
Thanks to Provident Capital Partners and sponsorship of the scoreboard today. Second best LED screen in Perth, right after the one from Front Row Screens. And we've got a hold, and it's going the way of Big Christian Air, so waste no time. Kicks up to a contest at the kick-off line through a series of hands. West Perth, they've been pretty good at standing up under this kind of pressure. Stubbs is there, hands and knees. He's wrapped up, and the ball not being able to be extracted. And we've got another stoppage in the forward pocket for the Demons.
What can they do here? It's an important stoppage this early in the game. Ball hits the deck. West Perth trying to move it out of there. Umpire has seen something, and it's going to be played on and moved up towards Riddick. He was under heavy pressure from John, and now trying to move it out of there is LaFontaine. He switched it across to Brady Gray, who couldn't get all of it inside 50. Now holding on to the footy, it's Manzoni. Kicked it into the corridor. LaFontaine went up for it. Gunning towards the ball is Antonio. Perth managed to get it. Byrne got it out of there. Kicked towards 50 by Sinclair. Players
good decision. The umpire spotted that one.
The umpire.
So Jason Gibb, the field umpire. Also Curtis Satin and Blake Evans, the field umpires today. And that's 50 metres. Tell you what, Zach Gordon has started red hot. He's got five disposals already. Luke, this afternoon, West Perth can't be affording, despite what their ladder position says, to be giving away needless 50-metre penalties.
So from directly in front is Caden Giblet to put them ahead by 2, and it's straight through the middle. They take an 11-point lead, 8.5 minutes into the first term. 2 goals zip 6, they lead West Perth. 0 goals 1.
Well, it's so uncharacteristic of Perth, but probably in a good way, Luke. I mean, they've won 3 out of 16 first quarters. And one of those was last week, where they kicked all those unanswered goals and ended up falling short in the end. So they are stronger finishers, but if they can keep this up, we could be in for an absolute ball over. Thanks for joining us on Front Row Screens. I'd like to thank Newtown Toyota, KCA Site Services, Provident Capital Partners, Scoreboard, Hungry Jacks, and of course Front Row Screens, wonderful supporters of Western Australian sport. As we come back into the middle, Ez has done a pretty good job in the opening stages of this tussle. Won it down this time, but he's going to give up a clearance. Didn't travel the correct distance, so the umpire lets them play on. Black receding a little bit of ground. What an addition this man's been. And Blake Wilhelm off to Riddick, looks to spear one up towards Keitel. Bodied out of it this time, but he kept his feet. Gets bundled over at the moment. Outside their own attacking 50 now. The hand pass will come backwards to Connell Lynch. He runs into trouble, ran into a dead end in the end. And the Demons coming converging. Luke, they are up for the fight this afternoon, the Redlegs.
Absolutely, and we've seen them take it to these bigger teams. We saw them play Claremont a few weeks ago, and they really put up a good fight in that one. And here they are trying to stick it to a top 4 side again.
Through the legs there of Riddick, but they keep it alive right under the nose of the Perth faithful. That mark won't be paid. Chance to mop up. Asking a lot of his teammate was Sanderson. They get dispossessed, and somehow the kick's going to end up on the chest of Mitchell Antonio, who is not too far out to score, and he'll be going back with intent. So probably their best opportunity, you would say, through almost 11 minutes. Thanks to Newtown Toyota. Get the Newtown feeling.
14 goals, 10 on the season. Antonio contributing to the dynamic attack that they have.
Originally from Queen's District Junior Footy Club. And that one is going to fade. Golfing term, that's a bit of a slice and through for a minor score. So Perth will be happy with that, Luke. I mean, they're giving up marks in and around 50, but giving such long set shots, there's not a breath of air to speak of this afternoon, and this has been a bright start.
Kick went straight into the hands of Brogan Henry. He's going to chip it across, and it'll be taken in by Sinclair. Sinclair, a high kick down the line into a contest. Ayres went up for it, but it's gone to ground. Wrapped up in a tackle hard by Moulton was Steele. It'll be a ball up on the near side. Ayres going up for it. It was one down by O'Donnell. Black at the fall of the ball. Manages to get the hands out of there. Struggling with it, West Perth, but they've managed to find O'Donnell. Couldn't get the kick across. It was blocked by Lynch. Now wrapped up in a tackle is Manzoni. Crowd wants ball. And they're going to get it. Beautiful tackle there by Mitch Brown. Perth with the footy now. Another chance to get something done. They lead by 10 points at this stage of the first term. 12.5 minutes in. Bit of a mongrel kick went down the line. Travelled straight towards Moulton, who received the handball from Pegararo, and it'll be a boundary throw in just underneath our commentary position.
Nick DeLina, hope I'm saying that right, says give us a win, Dees. Thanks for joining us, Nick, on Front Row Screens through the Perth Demons Facebook.
Stubbs kicked it inside 50. A snap around the body from Carey is just going to fall short as the kick gets chipped across. West Perth looking for an exit here. They chip it just to the edge of the centre square, and now a turnover straight back to the Demons, and the mark is taken by Sam Perkisic. Doesn't look like he's gonna back himself from here. Let's see. Going with the fast bowler's run up from 50 metres now is Perkisic, so let's see what he does here. Is he gonna give it off to a lead or back himself? This for his first goal of the season. Perkisic from 50 metres. The kick looks very good, but it just sailed to the left-hand side. Well, 2 goals, 1-13 Perth. They lead West Perth. No goals, 2.
Thanks to Newtown Toyota. Shout out to Terry Royan, high team at Front Row Screens. Hope you're enjoying the call, Terry. And also to Matthew Yates. Hope you're enjoying our coverage today. Matt Chechens and Luke Worthington bringing all the action. Here come the Falcons. Lynch fed it off by hand now to a runner in Hobley. Hobley looks to centre towards Keitel. He's been corralled pretty well at the moment, but he will receive it now. The swinging kick from Potente around the body just pitches at the feet there of Keegan Knott and out of play. An exciting play. Keep your eye on the number 7 for West Perth. 5th in the competition for goals. He's kicked 36 this season. A little off last week. 2 goals 4, but it seems as though a lot of West Perth players were doing that against the Sharks. Decisive whack on the football, ends up in the hands of Fisher. It's had a pretty consistent season. Mark Spilled falling to ground. They look to move it on back by hand. Pearce does the 360, looks for Knott, well spoiled. And they briefly keep the ball alive before Brant College seeks the sanctuary of the boundary. And a chance to throw in. Just magnificent conditions at the moment. A lot of the locals here at Laff Lane getting out enjoying the sunshine. Into the pointy end of the season next week. Perfect throw in. Ayres won it down decisively. Gray off a step. That ball's floating like a plastic bag. Carey somehow with some theft elects to run through the middle of Mineral Resources Park. He puts it out in front of the big man. It might just fall short of him. Is that dropping the football? Well done, McInnes. Well, he was beaten to the football, swings on the left boot and just misses. Well, the big man showing the little fellas how it's done.
What an effort there from Big Fraze down alone in the forward line.
197 centimetres and 94 kilograms, if you don't mind. That was superb. Nimble as well. West Perth dodge one. They move it right underneath the Newtown Toyota scoreboard. Floats it up to the non-broadcast wing, and now there's a foot race. Fisher did well, kept it in front of him, fed it off towards Giblet, and he's manhandled, and the umpire giving him the benefit of the doubt. No prior opportunity as Jason Gibb comes in and clears the traffic. Giblet, rare hit out for him. That ball's gone high, spiralling, and somehow it's marked. Skillful work, perfect conditions for it to happen too. Connell Lynch lowers the eyes. It's going to be chopped off. Having to work there was John, and it's holding the ball.
Ooh.
So just his second game, young John, and that's a little stiff. He's given away the free kick, and another chance for West Perth to go back and get a side of goal. Again, it'll be a long kick. 12 points is that margin. They've had 2 set shots that have already missed for the Falcons. This for their first major, and it's there. So it took a little bit of forward line heat, and they finally get rewarded. And stabbing that one home, Sasha Kernet. Now, he's kicked 1 goal 5 for the season. He kicked, unfortunately, 0-5 last week against the Sharks, and no doubt that would have been in the back of his mind, but makes no mistake thanks to Newtown Toyota. The Provident Capital Partners scoreboard has the lead halved for Perth, 2-2-14 to 1-2-8 as we approach 18 minutes of this opening turn.
Ready to get back underway at centre. Standing in the ruck is Giblet, and he's won the tap down. Gray was able to collect it, nearly pushed it inside 50, but it was a smart tackle. West Perth with the footy now. They've put it out wide. Nelson kicked it to the far side of the ground, a one-on-one contest, and it was brought in nicely by the Demons. Carrying the footy now, it's Andrew Fisher, but it was a turnover. Straight to the opposition, and West Perth are going to have the chance to move it through the corridor now. Running towards the footy, it's Black. He's collected it well, got the hands away. Plays pushed out wide for Brown. He was troubled by Stubbs. Ayres has the, sorry, not Ayres, Hobley has the footy, and it was kicked forward to the danger man, Rudy Riddick. He's put the handball through for Lynch. Lynch on the run, and it's just gone through to the left-hand side. Would have been a big goal there for Connell Lynch to put them back in this one.
So Black, Gordon and Manzoni leading the game in disposals. Luke, 6 disposals each. Austin Davis has 5 for the Redlegs. 4 of those kicks, so showing his intent early.
Ball was fumbled, went into the hands of Stubbs, who was wrapped up in the tackle by Lynch.
And this is why they've been so successful and had so many multiple goal kickers throughout the season, is forward half pressure, and not a better example set there from Connell Lynch. It was brilliant.
And just going over the boundary there, trying to clear it, was Nelson. It's going to be a boundary throw-in in the West Perth forward 50, an important stoppage for them as they trail, by 5 points. A goal to put them back in front at this late stage of the 4th term. Ball goes to ground, moved out of there quickly to the wing, and footy's brought in by Giblet, and he'll find the safety of the boundary as it trickles over the line. Just underneath the grandstand, a boundary throw-in. And the rucks go up for it. Missed both of them. With the footy now, West Perth. Ball's moved out to Nelson, who's going to kick it inside 50 into a dangerous area, into a contest. Ball went to ground. Keitel's carrying it, and he was in a hard tackle there from John. And now West Perth moving the footy well. Kicking it inside 50, Manzoni into a contest. Running with it is not. He's going to kick it towards the face of goal, and it's going to sail across. That's gone through for a behind. 2 goals to 14, Perth. They lead West Perth 1 goal for 10.
So dangerous is Keegan Knott.
Provident Capital Partners scoreboard.
So dangerous in those situations there. Demons bring it back in. John marks in front of Lynch. 21.5 played. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard and suggested it'll be a long opening term with only 3 goals kicked. Ayres flew but was spoiled. Managed to gather the crumbs. Brown running through the middle of the ground now. Can take a second bounce. Good Shepherd. Poor kick in the end, but well done Wilhelm. Got his 2 hands up and then cleverly toes the ball out to Black. So Black coming up on disposal 7. Snaps it round the corner. That was clever. Lynch. He started brightly. Maybe met high. Good tackling again this time from the Cardinals. They sweep the hand pass out wide. Black overran the football. Was bundled off it in the end. Demons do well. Hand pass over the top from Brody Gray. Kicks up towards Stubbs. He's manhandled. Trying to gather now is Steele. Steele runs into a brick wall. That is Pecoraro going nowhere. A couple of interesting passages of play, and we still await our 4th goal of the afternoon in this opening term. So Giblet doing the ruck work inside the paint of 50. Looks for Byrne. Moulton coming the other way. Somehow they scrag it forward. In goes Byrne. Was that sliding in dangerously? No, said the umpire. Interesting ball to win. They play stacks on. No prior. Mark Hamilton there having to come almost from his defensive goal square to lay that tackle. Clever tap now from Giblet. Might result in a goal. Somehow smothered. Almost on the goal line. Giblet, can he get his hands free? He can. Snap around the corner's a beauty. Well done, Giblet. He had to go forward and ruck. Clever little knockdown. He's stuck with it. The forward half pressure pays. And Christian Carey, right on cue, kicks his 26th goal of the season. Kicked 2 goals 4 last week. Or rather, 2 goals 4 in round 8 in their surprise win. And Corey Byrne,
really hard
his
work.
teammate was loving his work. It was. Thanks to KCA Site Services replay. So they've done what they haven't really struggled throughout the season. They have been the most injury hit club.
Yep.
No secret about that, but still no excuses. They've still got some talented players, but he's had a very good season. Christian Carey's kicked 26 goals, originally from North Albury, 63 games of WAFL footy, and I think Corey Byrne, who's 7th in the competition in tackles, he has been tremendous. He's played every game so far this season. He featured prominently in that last entry inside forward 50. So they extend their lead back out to 10 points thanks to Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. We're into time added on in this first term.
Ball spilt out, nearly found the hands of Byrne. Moving it around now, Perth. Wrapped up hard in a tackle by Riddick was Singh. Ball up just on the paint of the West Perth forward 50. Riddick went up for that one. And the shot towards goal has just gone wide by Sasha Kernot. And they've added another minor score to their tally. 3 goals, 2-20 Perth lead. West Perth 1-5-11 on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. As it's cleared out into a contest. Black with the footy. A right foot kick towards Knott, who's cleverly tapped it over the back and running towards it. He couldn't quite get there. The big man, Tyler Keitel.
Jack Avery, he has made a brilliant start. He's on screen currently. He has put the handcuffs literally on Tyler Keitel at the moment, has not had a sniff of the footy.
Boundary throw in the West Perth forward 50. going up for it was Ayres. Ball spilling around. West Perth with the footy now. Could be in a bit of trouble as the shot sails towards goal. And is going to be out of bounds on the full. Not quite for Tristan Hobley. As West Perth clear it with a kick down the line from fullback. And the mark was paid to Fraser McInnes. So Big Fraser with another touch of the footy. Sends a high one down the line. Big contest, spilt over the back. Moving it out of trouble now. And now running onto the footy with a lot of open space, West Perth. Tried to snap it around, but the smother was made. Now West Perth could be in a bit of trouble. The handball went out the back. He's wrapped up in a massive tackle. West Perth with the chance now to clear it out of trouble. Mallard with the kick. One-on-one contest. It was nearly brought in by Keitel. Collecting the footy now, Black. West Perth just managing to keep it in. And spilling over the back was the Perth defender, and now West Perth could have an opportunity here. The kick nearly went in from Hobley, but it's going to be collected by Riddick, who's going to handball it off from directly in front. The goal's kicked. And West Perth now are straight back in this one after the goal from Stephen Potente.
Well, take a bow, Rudy Riddick, thanks to KCA Site Services replay. That's an awkward spinning ball. He turned 3 times. Feigned the hand pass right into the breadbasket there of Potente. Kicks his second goal. Had 27 touches and 8 marks in the upset loss against the Sharks. One of the better performing players last year, and that was brilliant from Riddick. It just goes to show you what a spark he can be in the forward half. So at the moment, a lot of attention going into Tyler Keitel inside that forward 50-metre arc for the Demons, but the other,
yes, there's
lesser lights in that forward line. It is.
That, you know, 32 goals for Keegan Knott on a lot of seasons. I was actually looking at it today. 32 goals would have him as the leading goal scorer in the team for most of the last decade.
So the lead back to 3 points. Provident Capital Partners, thank you for your support as we get the bounce recalled by Curtis Snadden. Matt Churchins and Luke Worthington bring you all the action here on Front Row Screens. Thanks for joining us wherever it is that you are tuning in. It's getting to the business end in all forms of football around the country. Disappointing kick, slewed off the side of the boot. Is that in the back of Gray? Well, the Perth members and corporates right underneath our nose here on the main grandstand, begging for the free kick, and it wasn't forthcoming for the hard-nosed Brady Gray. Had some injury issues earlier, still only 25 years old. Interesting scrub kick from Manzoni. Bit of friendly fire there, that was high. Umpire right on the scene. The ironical jeers from the Perth locals. Town of Vic Park looking at potentially signing off on the expansion of the redevelopment of the big grandstand here, which would be wonderful. Potentially 800 seats too. Stubbs did just that, stubbed it inside 50. Brown, that's going to be holding the ball. Incorrect disposal. So I think West Perth might just be able to be in damage control in the dying embers, except that kick was an absolute Barry Crocker. And it was gobbled up by Brent Edmonds. He's kicked 5 goals, 1, so he's pretty straight. As the siren sounds, originally from Northam for Fetties, in his 102nd game, and that was criminal, kicking across the face of goal, particularly so late in the quarter. So a chance to put this lead out to 9 points. Brent Edmonds, and he left it just narrow. So the West Perth faithful with a sigh of relief as it is quarter time, as our club officials and coaches and some of the locals here at Mineral Resources Park make their way out onto the ground. And on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard, it has the Demons surprisingly out by 4 points, Luke Worthington.
Really solid quarter from them. They put a lot of pressure on Keitel in the forward line, like you mentioned, and I mean that's one of the key ingredients if you want to go ahead and beat West Perth. So they've done that well so far. Disposal leaders, Austin Davis, Tarkin Brogan-Henry are leading the charge, as well as Michael Sinclair. On the other side, West Perth have had a lot more of the footy. Trent Manzoni had 11 disposals, Black had 10, Nelson had 8, and Hobley had 7. So West Perth putting them under a lot of pressure. The Demons are managing to bend but not break.
Quarter time at Mineral Resources Park, the final home and away game season for the OPTUS WAFL. We will be right back. We'll have a look a little bit more closely. We'll put some of the numbers under the microscope and bring you all the action of the second term. Don't go anywhere. WAFL action will be right back on front row screens.
Today, we'll make sure the Miller family confidently picks the car their growing family needs and that they get a great deal. Over the next few years, we'll make sure their car still performs at its best. And when Abby's old enough to drive, we'll look after her too. Newtown Toyota. Our family's proud to be part of your family's journey. Contact us today at Newtown Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Live pictures of the West Perth huddle. Quarter time here, round 22, OPTUS WAFL season for 2021. Matt Chechen's courtesy of front row screens alongside me. Luke Worthington, who's furiously scribbling down on his notepad, and being a primary school teacher by trade, mate, I don't know how you got your pen licence.
Yeah.
I might need to revoke it.
I was the last person to get it in year 4, so that's not surprising. It took me a long time.
Some of the key numbers that you spotted.
So look, if we're looking at the inside 50s, we go down and we can see that they're actually tied.
Yep.
Despite West Perth having quite a significant amount more of the footy, 98 disposals to 70. So you can clearly see from those statistics that Perth are doing a lot with the ball when they have it. Tackles are sitting at 13 to 17. So West Perth are leading in that category. So good on them for having more of the footy and also producing more tackles when they don't have the ball.
And the 4-point margin in favour of the Demons as we have a look at some of the first term highlights thanks to KCA Site Services. And that man in black has had 10 disposals. This was the result of a 50-metre penalty and Giblet kicking his goal this afternoon. Fraser McInnes kicking the first. He's been lively. Luke, he had 3 marks in that opening term and is providing a few headaches because late in that term, unlucky not to kick a very nimble goal. But he is very good below his knees. Yeah.
That would have been unreal. Yeah. It was like the big man was standing in a phone booth down there when he was moving around, and just managed to get it onto the left foot. Nearly creeped it in. Would have been a beautiful goal.
So Christian Carey, the other goal kicker for the Redlegs. Stephen Potente kicked his second of the season, and Sasha Kernet, after kicking 0-5 last week against the Sharks, managed to put one through from 45 metres dead in front. I thought Connor Lynch was good as we have a look at Kernet's second goal of the season, and that was a perfect ball drop and
nice
sigh of relief for him. Yeah, it was, and he looks to be lively in that forward line. Having a look at the hit-out numbers, Perth 18-4 in that category, and it's not a category that West Perth win a lot week in and week out because they have got the best in the competition at being able to shark opposing ruckman's hit-out. So, but I was very surprised at that. That was a goal-saving spoil right on the goal line, and Giblet's been good when he moved forward, and Christian Carey the beneficiary rather of some clever work in the pocket.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like, going back to the hit-out category, it might be your least favourite statistic in sport, but I think that their dominance in the ruck today has really been a contributing factor. Maybe hitouts don't matter so much all the time, but, you know, when it is 18-4, you can see that there's a lot of physical work being done by the ruckman at the contest.
We're going to go around the grounds thanks to Optus in the WAFL, and the second term's only just got underway at Revo Fitness Stadium, and that's going to form. Claremont with a slender 10-point lead there over Swan Districts.
So good. That's good for West Perth at this point.
Peel Thunder trailing Subiaco at quarter time, 5-2 to 1-2. So a 4-goal margin there to the line. So
Subiaco to go straight to minor premiers if they win. A loss could see them drop even to third.
So Perth, the only real upset in the making at the moment. They lead by 4 points, obviously, in our coverage game. And South Fremantle doing it pretty comfortably over the West Coast Eagles reserves. That's 6-3 to 2-1. Closing stages of that first term.
Good news for the Demons here, that is too, then.
Yep, to avoid the wooden spoon. And South Fremantle a golden chance to finish in the top 2. So it might come down to percentage out of South Fremantle and also Claremont. So Swan District's doing a good job to keep that. Will this man get on the score sheet today? Form would suggest so. Rudy Riddick and Antonio, they take their spot. If you just joined us, 4-point margin here on front row screens. The final home and away game. Matt Chechens and Luke Worthington as the Perth Demons, black with the red sash, kicking to the right of your screen. West Perth to the left. And warm, still conditions here at Mineral Resources Park. Gray in on hands and knees. They somehow get it out. Fisher slung in the tackle. Busting through was Brown. They turn it over. In tight. That was well done from Moulton. Fed it back to a teammate who kicks errantly, and that will be intercepted. So the Demons players have got options through the middle of the ground. Gray marks right smack bang in the middle of the bullseyes. Wheels onto that right boot, sends it 50 metres down towards McInnes. Couldn't mark on this occasion. And a 2-on-1 tackle there results in the umpire having to end the contest.
Just off topic for a second, if the Eagles take the wooden spoon today, do they have 2 wooden spoons as a club, or are we just going to count 1?
That's a very, very good question. Awkward spinning ball. Somehow Brown fed it off to a teammate in Carey, going nowhere.
Have a think about it.
But that was Zach Sanderson. My apologies. The ball carrier. Another ball up, right on the paint of 50. Oh, that was not correct disposal. Gray should have been awarded the free kick. We'll have another stoppage on 50. So West Perth, I mean, despite trailing, they still, the players out there obviously playing for a spot in the finals. Maybe getting some bodies back soon too. Stubbs got away with dropping the football there. Singh tried to take on 2 oncoming tacklers. Not too many bodies around this stoppage. Nice open kick smothered from Byrne. Somehow towed out of the pack. Great. Tracks back the trickling footy. Can get a check side off a step. Interesting spoil on the football. Brown, he was dispossessed. Good strong work in the back half from Tristan Hobley. Not allowing the ball carrier any more territory. And another stoppage. The tough tackling continues.
A lot of hard work being done. The tap was won down by McInnes, and the umpire has called holding the man in favour of Perth. So lining up for it is going to be Corey Byrne. Has a couple of leads inside 50, kicks it in, and the mutt was brought in beautifully by Carey.
And Aaron Black not taking an inch going the other way either. That was a heavy collision, and what a fantastic contested mark from Christian Carey, and a very good opportunity, Luke, to become the first multiple goal kicker of the afternoon.
Carey leads his side on the season in the goal category. 25 goals, 17.
Just goes to show you what a lean season they've had in front of the big sticks when your leading goal kickers hasn't hit 30. Christian
Carey for his 26th. And to extend his side's lead, he's just going to push it through to the right-hand side. 3-4-22. Perth extend their lead to 5 points over West Perth. 2-5-17 on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. West Perth now with the footy at fullback. It's kicked out of there by Moulton. Running onto its Hobley. Hobley's going to clear it down the line into open space. Running towards it was Singh, but it's going to roll over the boundary. Will be a boundary throw in. About 5 weeks ago, they would have paid that deliberate. No, they have paid it deliberate. Sorry. I thought the umpire quite clearly signalled for a boundary throw in there, so that will be paid deliberate as it's kicked down the line and nearly travelled out of bounds on the full. Yeah, it did. So West Perth now are going to get the footy straight back. And holding on to it is Hobley. He chipped it across. Now it's kicked hard down the line towards their 50. It's going to go over the back of the pack and actually trickle in. Black tried to soccer it forward. Running onto the footy now is Riddick. And it'll just trickle over the boundary line inside West Perth's forward 50. 4.5 minutes gone in the first term. A boundary throw in. Deep in West Perth territory. You can see Riddick there, Black. Two key performers when the West Perth guns are firing. And the umpire has called a hold, and that's going to go to West Perth, so they'll have a shot on goal, and it will be taken by Shane Nelson. So this Nelson shot could put West Perth back in front. Shane Nelson, 1 goal, 3 on the year, and to kick his second of 2021 would put his side in front by a point. It sails across the face of goal and doesn't make the distance, but it was rushed over the line. So they close in slightly. 3-4-22. The West Perth, they trail Perth 2-6-18.
Easy to forgive a man, Luke, that had 44 disposals last week. The Demons clear their defensive arc towards McInnes. Rare spill from him on that outer side and potentially off the shins there. Umpire says toss it in. Right underneath the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. Brand new scoreboard out there here at Mineral Resources Park. A lot of coin being spent on the renovations here. Yes, won it down with both hands to Gray. Kicks a floating ball. Lynch couldn't take the mark. West Perth have got numbers. Straight through the middle of the ground. They look to spread it now. This is a feature of their game. Kick mark. And they get such great run and pop off half back. Pumped inside 50 by Gordon. Doesn't hit its real intended target, but here comes the pressure. That'll be holding the ball. And the advantage to be paid and the easiest of goals to be kicked. Well, they're so dangerous. The Mosquito fleet will get the goal, but it was after some extreme front half pressure. 5th in the competition for goals. Have a look at this. Riddick on scene, not with the initial tackle.
That's some forward pressure.
Dispossessed there from Riddick. Would have been his free kick, and I'm sure he's happy with not to stab it home right from the kickoff line, and you kind of sense that the damn wall is about to burst for the Demons. They had a very good first term, and a little unlucky as well. There was the ball carrying. Jack Avery couldn't do much. I mean, the ball just bounced into his hands and was on a hiding to nothing. It's always hard to clear your lines under such great pressure and such quick fleet of foot players. I mean, Riddick and Knott are so quick, and their stand-start pace as well, something to be admired. So
we go back to the centre. Leading by 2 points now, West Perth, as the ball hits the deck. Players converging on it. West Perth look to have it. Big 3-man tackle.
Well, the umpire was on that side too.
Yeah. I thought he might have got
great
around the neck.
The 2 number 9s meeting head on, literally. Manzoni should have earned the free kick there.
Stabbed out of there by Ayres. Running onto it is Munns. Munns with the footy. He's going to look for options. Chip it right through to Manzoni. He's going to move it across. The footy's taken in by Mallard. Handballed it away for Moulton. Moulton's going to kick it inside 50 on the left boot. Towards it's Keitel, who takes the mark deep inside 50.
and absolutely nothing that Jack Avery, the youngster, could do. Thanks to KCA Site Services replay. Have a look at that. Tyson Moulton puts it on an absolute silver platter for the best forward in the competition.
Missed his first set shot today. It was pretty far out. This for his 63rd goal of the season. Straight as an arrow. Extends the Cardi's lead. They lead Perth 4-6-30. Perth 3-4-22 on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. And like you said, Matt, a sense that maybe the dam walls are starting to open. This is an attack with some serious firepower. And bend but not break seems to have been the mantra of Perth at this point of the game, and maybe soon it's coming.
Well, the Demons defenders are going to need for greater pressure in front of them, up in the corridor of the ground, and not allowing those easy kicks to come lace out onto a spearhead's chest. We're back in the middle. Ayres will contest for Perth. Looking for College, and there's a hold. Going away the Demons. There's that man in Brant College. Puts it out to his ruckman and Ayres. Back over to Byrne. He's having to retrace his steps. Gets out of danger. Pretty elusive. Another chance to re-enter 50. Can they take a big pack mark? McInnes flew. Off hands. Giblet dispossessed. Carey in there as well. Spinning out of trouble. This is Stubbs. Now they're going to kick it outside 50, but clever work in the end because they've got Fisher. Now John's on his right-hand shoulder. Going to use this new rule. That kick just perfectly weighted. Originally thought the intended target was College, but he knew what he was doing because Christian Carey was busting out, and he'll open up the angle to where he saw his last set shot effort, which was disappointingly mongreled off the side of his boot. We can say that. It was an awkward spinning ball, so a golden opportunity for him to make amends here and to keep them within striking distance. 11.25 minutes have elapsed here. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard, thanks also to KCA Site Services and Newtown Toyota. Can Perth hit back? You bet they can. Christian Carey becomes the first multiple goal kicker of the afternoon. Kicked one in the opening term. And Clayton Giblet, also Fraser McInnes, the tall timber, thanks to KCA Site Services replay. A much better and firmer contact on the football, and the perfect follow through for any youngsters watching at home, and just the modest celebration, and Andrew Fisher celebrates with him. So the runners are going to be asked a lot today. It's almost summery cricket conditions this afternoon here at
It's getting hot.
Mineral Resources Park.
Almost take your jumper off time, even up here in the depths of the grandstand.
Just letting the locals know underneath us before you get the pipes out this afternoon. Luke Worthington.
Yeah, going to need a license. Back underway. Ruck's going up for it. Gray wrapping up Black in a tackle. No way to dispose of it for Black. Umpire will have it. Just to the right-hand side of the bullseyes. Back underway. Moving it out of there well was Pearce. It's kicked out into open space, running onto its Patente, or at least attempting to, and yeah, might have been, but no call. Black with the footy. He's going to handball it out wide. West Perth moving it around. Manzoni has the footy. He'll move it back. Kicked into a contest, and a beautiful mark taken there by Kernut. Really clever mark, and he's moved it across now, where it's kicked inside by Lynch, and that was a big collision in the back, and we might just need to keep an eye on who's down there. It looks like it's Antonio who's slow to get up. We'll just keep an eye on that as it's chipped through nicely by Perth as they make a rush towards the other end. Here's Big Fraser, and he brings the mark in just after the pain of 50.
And I love to see the big man out on the stretch and then point straight away to the umpire. Get that man back on the mark. no issues, I don't think, with getting the distance.
So Fraser McInnes, 5 goals, 2 on the season. And it's not going to quite make the distance, but on the line, they've kicked it through. And it was crumbed beautifully by Jack Steele. And I believe that's put Perth ahead. So 5-4.
We're just awaiting on the goal umpires confirming.
We
don't have aid of a view. Yep.
And no problem at all there. So 5-4, 34. Perth, they lead West Perth, 4-6-30.
Jack Steele. Pops up, an opportunistic goal.
We've got a game on our hands now. Just as we thought West Perth were getting dangerous, Perth take their second lead of the afternoon.
Just while we're waiting the ball getting back to the middle, we said before the game, West Perth have won 15 of their last 16 games here at Mineral Resources Park.
Yep.
The other game was a draw.
Yep.
I was actually at that game as a spectator for the draw. What happened was Perth, the scores were level. They took a mark to the right of screen, played on from 40 metres out, and missed. So kicked it behind, and the umpire had called advantage, brought it back because there was no advantage because they kicked it behind.
Yep.
Then the siren sounded. They had a set shot and didn't score. It was the most bizarre ending to a game I've ever seen. Back in the middle, Black tracks that one back, ridden in face first into the turf by Gray. Perth with another chance. Can they make it 3 goals on the trot? Up looking for Giblet. Oh, brilliantly done. That could almost be a dangerous tackle. Pegararo was slung into the turf on the flat of his back at no free kick, and coming in is Wilhelm to remonstrate. Also Shane Nelson on the scene. So 16 minutes have elapsed exactly in this second term. That's high. Gray somehow manufactures the kick inside 50 to Stubbs. And a chance for him to go back. It's a very acute angle.
It's a hard kick, this. Got a good view of it from right up here.
Well, anyone that wears a number 23 in any sport has to live up to that number, surely.
Yeah, mate, it was Darren Glass's number.
16 goals, 20 on the season. It's given that a ride. Has it got the distance? Yes, indeed. And have a look at the celebrations. That could be a goal of the round contender. Samuel Stubbs, thanks to KCA Site Services replay, turns perpendicular, allows for the big hook. The flowing mullet, it had it all. And then have a look at this Cobra. Had it all, well done. Take a bow. That's 3 on the trot for the Demons.
That was a great goal. That was a really great goal.
Gravatt Vultures, I think they play in the Queensland League. What a nickname for a football team, the Vultures.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Mount Gravatt.
Just teasing the Moulay as we speak too. And what a highly entertaining game that we've got. 6-4 to 4-6, 10 points now. That lead has been restored. There's 4 points at quarter time. Skew with bounce from the umpire allows Ayres to dish-shark it. College kicks out towards the wing. 2 players collide, keeping his feet there was Manzoni. Runs into trouble now. Brown's on the scene. Almost hatching the football. Manzoni stripped of it this time, and great intent there from Zach Sanderson. You like to see that from a youngster. As we said, from Kalani. They play in the Mortlock League. Perfect throw in from the boundary umpire. Palm down to Gray. And he floats that out of bounds on the full. You can excuse him for that, Luke, as he was slung in the tackle.
Yep. So, with the footy now, Manzoni. He kicked it back. It was taken in by Hamilton, who's now under a little bit of trouble. Had to move it out of there. And it wasn't 15 as it went into his teammates' hands. Nelson it was on the deck, and the umpire is going to take that one in. McInnes wins the tap down. Trying to control it, Gray. Crumbed by Manzoni and moved across where it was taken in by Munns. And now switched to the far side. At right half-back, it's Tyson Moulton.
Manzoni getting busy. 15 disposals, leads all comers in that category, Luke.
Handball went over the top. Was brought in by Munns. He kicked it down the line. Heavy contest for the footy. Sees it taken over the line. And nearly hurling himself over the sponsor sign there was Connor Singh. So a boundary throw in, far side of the ground. Just in front of the limestone grandstand, we can call it, at the other gate. Was socked through. Trying to run onto the footy now is Hobley. He moved it out of trouble to Wilhelm, and he'll find the safety of the boundary on this occasion. 6-4-40, Perth, an unlikely 10-point lead over West Perth, 4-6-30. So we have a boundary throw in right next to the Eagles training facility. Stubbs nearly got it at ground. Just trickling around in there. Who's going to bring it in? It'll be the umpire that brings it in on this occasion. Gray couldn't quite clear the footy. Hands go up for it. Black running onto the footy, pressured heavily by College. Kick goes forward, just over the top of Wilhelm. Now with the footy, it's McInnes moving around very nimbly again. Now kicked inside 50. Who's going to get it? One-on-one contest. Moulton couldn't get it away, and now it's kicked towards goal. No way! Wow! They extend their lead to 16 with the goal from Brown.
That's goal of the season. And that's down to some slick work. First of all, Fraser McInnes on the far side. Again with that sweeping hand pass. And then in tight, I think it was Giblet, fired off one of the quickest hand passes that I have seen before that man on screen, Mitchell Brown, has kicked an unbelievable goal. Unbelievable. Wow. It's only just scraped in inside the left-hand goalpost. You won't see a better goal than that today.
No.
What a time to get it too, as we approach time added on. 21.5 minutes played. That was superb. I mean, you called it perfectly, Luke. The nimbleness of McInnes. Tumbled one. Giblet almost was impeded, kept with it, and fired off one of the slickest hand passes that you've seen. It was almost a no-look pass.
Hard to keep up with.
College. Back to Corey Byrne. That's going to be holding the ball. It spun 720 degrees in a tackle. Be careful not to give away 50 in that situation. Well done from Mitchell Pearce. Kicks shallow entry inside 50 through the hands of Keitel. Black chasing that football and off his palms and out of play. So 7-4 to 4-6. 22.5 minutes have elapsed. Thanks to Provident Capital Partners, KCA Site Services and Newtown Toyota. Get the Newtown Toyota feeling. Shallow ball in this time. Favoured airs. West Perth player dumped off the football. No free kick forthcoming. Now, was that a throw? Because Davis has seemed as though he was getting another possession this afternoon. He's been brilliant, but in fact the umpire right there and spotted the throw from College. So not one player to the right-hand side of the bullseyes. They have all flooded back to this third of the ground. Tough spot to kick goals from too. So the right foot drop punt is on its way, and it looks gun barrel straight, and is. Well, haven't we had some majors kick today? Thomas O'Donnell says, whatever you can do at one end, I'll do it at the other. Kicks his 8th goal. Kicks 7 goals 6. You wouldn't think so. He went back and he knew exactly what he was doing. KCA Site Services replay, and not the most momentum coming through the football on that run-up. in college, just disappointingly shakes his head after getting pinged for the throw. Well, West Perth needed that, didn't they, Luke Worthington, to cut the margin back to 10 points.
Yeah, big time.
As we're approaching almost 24 minutes that have elapsed in this second term, the final home and away game of what's been one of the most open seasons in the OPTUS WAFL competition.
Yeah. Just about to get back underway, moving into time on for the second term. Skew if bounce, but no whistle blown. So we're on. Trying to move it out of there was Pierce. Hard tackle. Gray. And now the ball goes to ground. Umpire's going to have it. 24.5 minutes elapsed on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. Ball moved out of the pack towards Manzoni. It was a big tackle by Perkisic. Crowd wanted ball. Black to Wilhelm. Kicking it out far for Antonio. Only has Black as an option again. Black running with it along the wing. Nice kick and a strong mark is taken in. Was Kernut. Kernut just stabs it forward. Brought in by Knott. West Perth slowly moving in towards the 50 as Knott kicks it to Antonio.
Looks to have recovered from that earlier knock in the term.
Seems fine, Antonio, like you mentioned, yeah, and he kicks it right into the hot spot. Big pack went up for it. Ball spilling around at ground level. Who can get it out of there? Umpire's going to have it. So inside the West Perth 50, a crucial stoppage. Tap was won by Ayres. Big contest for the ball on the far side. It'll be brought in one more time by the umpire. West Perth really need to prioritise getting one before the end of the term.
Must be a stiff breeze down in that pocket because Mitchell Pearce just lost his feet.
West Perth collecting it.
Oh, that's a dangerous
Huge tackle.
Yeah,
and yeah, he's lifted him off his feet and ensuing bit of pushing and shoving after.
You know, it's interesting, about 3-4 years ago, that tackle's perfectly legitimate in all forms of football.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously with concussion and injuries, and the game is played at a frenetic pace, but that is not a good look.
So Pierce, he's going to line up to put his side back within 4 points just before half-time. 8 goals, 2 on the season. Bit of a tight angle, and it looks like it's going to go through for a behind. So 7-4-46 Perth lead West Perth 6-6. Sorry, 5-7-36. 5-7-37 actually.
Austin Davis with his 12th disposal leads Perth in that category. Spots a friendly pair of hands in Fraser McInnes. 5 marks now in the afternoon. Beautiful kick of the footy to Gray. Just moving it on the outer extremities of the ground. Up towards Giblett and Ayres. Giblett stayed on the ground. Feeds it off by hand now to Carey. 60 metres from home. That's a shocking kick, unfortunately. On the run, it's always a hard task, and reading that perfectly was Moulton, and transfers playing out. West Perth away. Floating ball to Antonio. Wore one across the face. Didn't stop him, but good courage. He's got Lynch down the line. Riddick also presenting his services down the line. Goes up towards Kernut. Good strong pair of hands. Well, he went to go. It was wrapped up. Holding the ball. So,
wow.
Well, he rolled the dice, didn't he,
Yeah.
really? I think Zach Sanderson, in the fact that he just collared Kernut, who took a very strong mark and didn't realise that the man was right on his hammer. Already had one hand on his jumper. Mallard with a good mark. That is interesting. Attempted a mark from Mark Hamilton. Brings it back to Black. College must have just stepped off the interchange gates.
Yeah.
Trying to make the spoil. Unsuccessfully. Scott Nelson. Black will receive it from the side door. Stabs one. Up towards Riddick. Running out of room. Feeds it off by hand. Pegararo. That's a chaos ball. Up towards the hot spot. Off a hand. Where are the Crummers? Right there. That's where they are. And strolling into the open goal. Reading it perfectly. Shane Nelson would definitely be a chance for a Sandover medal this season. Have a look at this. KCA Site Services replay. And it was the chaos ball. Perkisic launched it. Unfortunately, the spoil went back to his own goal line. And Jack Avery, who put his knuckles through the footy, dives in vain on the goal line and running in. No easier goal than that for Shane Nelson, who 44 disposals, 8 inside 50s against East Fremantle last week. Kicked his second goal of the season. No one's had more disposals than that man on screen in the whole competition.
Wow.
In 2021. Pretty impressive for West Perth, considering number 2 is Mr. Black. What a fantastic game. 30 minutes have elapsed. Second term. We're in the dying embers of this second term. Gray. Don't know how many kicks he's had like that, where he gets dumped as he kicks towards Brown. Slung in the tackle. Hand pass out towards Nelson. Kicks hurriedly. Sinclair leads the charge, and we'll see that out of bounds right underneath a big gathering of people on that far side of the ground, enjoying the sunshine here. Mineral Resources Park. We approach half time. Thanks to the Provident Capital Partners for their sponsorship of the scoreboard this afternoon. All players have just migrated to the outer side for this stoppage. Skew if boundary throw in. The Falcons re-enter inside 50. Must have heard steps there. Was Carey. They hack it off the ground. Edmonds gets corralled on the boundary line. Kicks up towards Stubbs and Moulton. Heavy collision at the interchange gates of the Cardinals, and now to play for another stoppage. You would probably think there would only be 30 seconds or less for either team to add to their total for this term.
Boundary throw-in just underneath our commentary position. Like you said, dying embers of the first half. The tap was one down by Giblet. It's moved out of there for Potente, who kicks it forward and bringing it over the boundary line was Keegan Knott.
Brogan Henry, Tarkin there. He had a pretty tough ask of him there and managed to make the effective spoil, so that could have prevented a goal scoring opportunity.
Ruck's going up for it. Black's there, but not before Andrew Fisher, and over the boundary line one more time. So another boundary throw-in. Hands go up and it's stabbed down, but moving it out of there well was Manzoni, just to the paint of 50. It trickles over, and running onto it now is Kernot, who kicks it through. Beautiful goal by Sasha Kernot. Read the drop of the ball perfectly, got in behind the pack, and just on the stroke of half-time, gives his team a 3-point lead. Look at that.
Well, it was a clever finish, because closing down very quickly was John, as you could see over his right shoulder. A great stand-up starting speed from Kernot. He's kicked his second now, so he's shown his prowess from around 45 metres with a set shot, and then the beautiful weighted kick, the check side or the banana kick that dribbles through. Clever finish from him. And just when we sort of wrote off any further additions to the score, West Perth go bang. They retake the lead. They trail by 4 points at quarter time. Out the side of the pack, Nelson fed it off to Manzoni. Well read from Sinclair, diving in front of Connell Lynch and taking the mark. That will not travel 15 metres. Ooh. College that will do it for the first half. Highly entertaining game at Mineral Resources Park. And after Perth kicked 3 unanswered goals after a little mini storm of goals to the left of your screen, West Perth have hit back, and after trailing at quarter time, Luke Worthington now find themselves at the main change in front by 3 points.
What a game we've seen today, and yeah, huge performance by the Cardies this afternoon, especially in that second half.
Well, they kicked 5 goals 2 to 4 goals 3 in the end. Rather 4 goals 1, my apologies. So 7-4 to 7-7, thanks to Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. When we come back, we'll run through some of the numbers and we'll have a look at around the grounds in what is the final home and away round for the Optus 2021 WAFL season. Matt Chetchins and Luke Worthington will be right back here on Front Row Screens on the other side of these messages.
Today, we'll make sure the Miller family confidently picks the car their growing family needs and that they get a great deal. Over the next few years, we'll make sure their car still performs at its best. And when Abby's old enough to drive, we'll look after her too. Newtown Toyota. Our family's proud to be part of your family's journey. Contact us today at Newtown Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Half-time at Mineral Resources Park. Some of the keen youngsters out there strutting their stuff, and who knows, maybe the next Corey Byrne there, the number 4, tackles like him. Enjoying the sunshine, and why wouldn't they? And what a fantastic game we've had, as you can see on our live Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. 7-4-46 Perth, trailing now West Perth 7-7-49, but Perth probably having the lead for a good 70% of this first half. They did lead at quarter time by 4 points before 5 goals to 4 for the visitors, who are looking to make it 16 wins on the trot here at Mineral Resources Park over Perth. And they are on to a finals campaign next week, where more than likely they'll be playing Swan Districts, and Perth will be happy to avoid the wooden spoon and rule a line under the 2021 Optus season, after it would look so promising after last season, breaking a big drought since 1997 and playing finals. But let's have a look at some of the KCA Site Services replay. And this man's been prominent, Fraser McInnes, ex-West Coast Eagles player rather, and that was his first. He's taken 5 marks this afternoon. Leading goal kickers, Sasha Kernett has 2 for West Perth. Tyler Keitel has 1. Stephen Patente and also Thomas O'Donnell, I believe, has kicked 1. Shane Nelson and Keegan Knott, the other goal kickers. Christian Carey has 2 for Perth, as does Mitchell Brown with 1 of the goals of the season. Samuel Stubbs, Clayton Giblett, Fraser McInnes, and the other goal kicker in Jack Steele right on the goal line. But some interesting numbers. The first one is the team stat for me, Luke Worthington. At quarter time, Perth and West Perth knotted up at 13 inside 50s apiece, which is such an important stat when it comes to generating scoring shots, and they are still deadlocked at 22 apiece at half-time.
Yeah, interesting. And if you take a look at the disposals, that might tell a little bit more of the story. West Perth 182 and Perth 125. So again, we've seen a term where West Perth have had a lot more of the footy and an equal number of inside 50s. The tackle count has gone up significantly in that second term, 39 for West Perth and 34 for Perth. And if we take a look at the hit-outs, we have 36 to 12 at this stage of the game. So just some immense work from Christian Ayres and Fraser McInnes, who's also stepped into the ruck.
So Black up to 20 disposals. He had 10 in the first term, so ultra consistent, as is Manzoni. He had 11 touches of the footy in the first term and has 19 at half-time, so he found it 8 times in that term. As we said, McGuinness leading the marking category this afternoon. He has 5, and Brady Gray up to 13 disposals, leading the way for Perth at the moment. So we're just having a look further at the KCA Site Services replay. I will keep you abreast with all things happening around round 22, Optus WAFL season. Claremont just narrowly with a 5-point lead. They're 5-7 to 5-2 leading Swan District. So tough and tight at the moment. Claremont have been superb at Revo Fitness Stadium, and that would be an upset for mine. Subiaco have the minor premiership. I can confidently say that. They're 12-3-75 leading Peel Thunder 3-6-24. So that margin 51 points at half time. And South Fremantle, who were looking for a percentage boost, leading West Coast at half time 8-9-57 to 4-2-26. So that margin there, 31 points. So the West Coast Eagles reserves will take the wooden spoon, and Perth will finish second bottom, you would suggest. It looks as though West Perth will be taking on Swan Districts next week in an elimination final.
Yep.
As we continue our highlights package. Andrew Fisher's had a fantastic season. Christian Carey, that's his second goal of the afternoon. His first set shot was left a lot to be desired, you must say. I think the Perth defence, we need to acknowledge their efforts in the first half, because Tyler Keitel's only had the opportunity to kick the one goal, and that ball was literally laced out to him after there's some poor midfield pressure applied on the Cardinals midfield with the ball coming in, and it was just too easy for him. He managed to goal from 35 metres out on a tight angle, but I think that the youngster in Jack Avery's done a superb job on him in the first half. Would you agree, Luke?
I agree completely. Keitel's been completely locked up. The West Perth have really had to rely on their other forwards, and look, they can get the job done, but with Keitel almost being completely nullified, I mean, one goal for him in a half of footy by his standards is not a good half of footy. By anyone else's, it's fantastic, but yeah, they've really managed to nullify him, and he could be the difference. I mean, Keitel could have 4 goals at this point of a regular game, and we'd be talking about a completely different story on the scoreboard.
Just having a look quickly at some of the reserve scores, there were some big wins this afternoon, because obviously the finals start in that category as well, and the Tigers 112 defeating Swan Districts 28. How's this for a scoreline? Subiaco 23-9-147 defeating Peel Thunder 2-2-14. So that margin 133 points, and Perth going just down at the death to West Perth. So interesting to see what's going to happen with the Rodriguez Shield, you would suggest?
Yeah.
As we just have a look at the ladder situation. So Subiaco will win the minor premiership. South Fremantle and Claremont locked in on the same amount of wins, and West Perth and Swan Districts. Now, you never know, because Swan Districts could get over the line against Claremont, and West Perth could suffer a loss here. So that would throw an absolute spanner into the works. Not so much as who's going to play each other next week, but more so who will get the home field advantage. So a chance for us to draw breath here at Mineral Resources Park. The halftime lead is just 3 points in favour of West Perth. Well, back in round 17 at Leederville Oval, Subiaco took on West Perth, and we sent our super slow-mo camera boundary side. Let's take a look at some fantastic vision of the players in full action, thanks, of course, to Front Row Screens.
Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Even though I try to replace you, but loneliness makes me break down. Every time I need a rescue, hanging on the verge of breakdown. Waiting for a touch, you say no name.
Live pictures of Mineral Resources Park. It is the main break here between the Perth Demons and the West Perth Falcons. 3 points the margin in favour of the visitors. They've won 15 of their last 16 games here at Mineral Resources Park. That other game was not a win, unfortunately, to the Demons. It was a draw. So just a phenomenal record that the visitors have, and they've got one claw on making that 17 unbeaten here as we take in and bathe in some of the sunshine. Those kids know what's happening. Having some shots at the big sticks down there in the shade, and plenty to do down here this afternoon as it is the final home and away round. We'd like to thank Newtown Toyota, also KCA Site Services for our quarter time highlights, and to Provident Capital Partners Scoreboard, also to Front Row Screens. Thanks for joining us around the state or indeed around the world, and this game with much to play for. When we return from our final break of the half-time, we will run through again the scores around the Optus round 22 contests, and to also have a discussion about what Perth need to do if they want to fight back into this game. So don't go anywhere. The second half, the Demons' last game of the season, West Perth looking for momentum heading into the final series. We'll be right back.
Today, we'll make sure the Miller family confidently picks the car their growing family needs and that they get a great deal. Over the next few years, we'll make sure their car still performs at its best. And when Abby's old enough to drive, we'll look after her too. Newtown Toyota. Our family's proud to be part of your family's journey. Contact us today at Newtown Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Half-time as the West Perth Falcons, with a 3-point lead at half-time, make their way back out onto Mineral Resources Park. They enjoyed such a fantastic winning streak here at this ground. Thanks for joining us on Front Row Screens, whether it's through the Front Row Screens page on Facebook. Make sure you give a like and a follow there, or it could be through the West Perth page or the Perth Demons page. Thank you for your wonderful support throughout what has been an exciting 2021 season. Terry Royan sends out a hi to us. Hi, Terry. Matthew Yates, obviously a big Shark supporter. Simon Lewis and Joe Edwards, possibly one of your mates.
Yes. What did he say?
That was a great goal, Luke David. Didn't realise that you'd kicked that one off. He surely must be talking about Mitchell Brown's unbelievable snap from the boundary in the second term.
Yeah, must have been. Thanks for tuning in, Joe. Yeah, one of my mates who plays on my indoor soccer team. So not many goals kicked by me in that sense. So I don't know what is going on about there.
So West Perth, a great fight back in the latter stages of that term. They got a very late goal thanks to Kernet, who's kicked his second goal. That was to the left of screen, and Perth yet to have emerged from the changing rooms here. Some of the youngsters eagerly awaiting their return. Talk of the grandstand here at Mineral Resources Park being redeveloped, and talk of 800 seats or thereabouts being put in. Would make it, in my opinion, the best ground in the WAFL competition. Not just for its central location, but with the amount of money that has been put into the redevelopment here.
What about the fact that it's in an up-and-coming suburb?
Could potentially be. I mean, you'd be very, very lucky to own any property in this suburb, I would suggest. And here come the Demons back onto the playing arena, led by Fraser McInnes. And Christian Ayres has had a good game, and as has Corey Byrne as well. They'll make their way out onto the field, and they have been absolutely decimated by injuries. The Perth Demons, obviously Chris Maston, who played a massive part in the last couple of seasons and really offered a lot to a very young side in the WAFL, and unfortunately through his own injuries having to pull the pin earlier this season. They missed Sinclair, who's such a vital cog earlier in the year, and I think obviously the biggest piece from last year's finals making team that's missing is Logan McDonald, and not in a bad way. The fact that he was picked up by the Sydney Swans,
of course.
And I was so surprised that he went so late in the draft, and was really hoping that the Crows would have picked him up. But I think the fact that they took Riley Thilthorpe was probably a good option as well. Football recruit managing staff, they probably know what they're doing more than us. But
did you check out the final last night?
No.
I was there.
Yeah.
Managed to mark a ball behind the goals.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I won't say unfortunately, but fortunately we've had a new arrival just 3 weeks ago. Young Mackenzie has joined our family. Got an older brother in Toby, who we saw here on front row screens a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Strutting his stuff down there. So I'm spending a lot of time at home, which is lovely at the moment. But I tell you what, I would be very interested to try and head to maybe the prelim or even the grand final. At Optus Stadium. And of course the WAFL grand final there on a Saturday. That is huge news, isn't it?
Massive.
Yeah, wonderful. Should be a big crowd there for the showpiece event, and I believe the wonderful team here of Front Row Screens will be broadcasting the reserves grand final.
Is that also at Optus?
It is indeed.
Oh, beautiful. I like that.
As much as we love the media facilities here at Mineral Resources Park, mind you, it's a step up from what Leaderville offers.
Yeah,
up in the top of the grandstand. It's going to be fantastic to be able to use those facilities. So both teams back onto the ground, and as we wrap up the home and away season with this game, and it's all to play for, just want to acknowledge the efforts of Front Row Screens, in particular Matt Williamson, who's done a tremendous job producing throughout the season. And Paul Persick, what a superstar, despite being a West Perth supporter.
Sending me some angry messages during the game from his iPad.
The ball up will be recontested. The Barbecue Bakery, you want to get onto that, folks. Have a look at that on Facebook. Some interesting recipes. Tumbling ball out towards the broadcast wing, third term underway. Riddick just clearing house. In goes Singh, head over the footy. Riddick wraps him up, that'll be holding the ball. Rudy gets the free kick and looks to just spear one off to Keitel. That
beautiful
was
kick.
Brilliant. Inch perfect, not going to rip off the great man. Kicks up towards full forward. Antonio with the crumbs. Kicks straight up the chimney flute. May have come off a hand as well. Not from an impossible angle. Misses to the near side. And our first score of this third term, a minor one, going the way of the Falcons. Kicking to the right of screen in the white shorts. Matt Chechens and Luke Worthington bringing all the action this afternoon.
Perth on the far side of the ground. Ball's taken in. And they'll continue with a kick down the line, a high kick. The mark was taken by Sanderson. And it was kicked through with the hands going off and now pushed towards Stubbs. It just fell past him, crumbing it. The Demons. And a hard tackle there. Sees Carey give the ball back to the umpire. Ball up inside the Perth forward 50. Straight to ground and a high tackle is called. West Perth are going to move it out of there. Into the hands of Black. Black kicks it forward and an intercept mark taken in the middle of the field. Now moving it on. The kick inside 50 and the mark's taken in by Carey. Christian Carey. He should back himself here.
And the passage of play well read again from Brogan Henry, busting his way off half back and delivering that lace out and hitting Christian Carey right on the sternum. And I think everyone in the competition knows that he's got the leg and can get the journey easily.
Distance shouldn't be a problem for Carey, their leading goal scorer on the season. He's already kicked 2 this afternoon. This for his third to put Perth in front, and it's going to sail through the left-hand side. And Moulton will take the kick out from fullback. So Tyson Moulton plays on. Kick towards Munns. He's waiting for an option and stabbed it and didn't get all of the kick. It was a bit of a mongrel that's going to travel over the boundary. The target was Manzoni, but not quite on that occasion. Boundary throw in. Just on the pain of the Demons 50. Ruck's going up for it. Was brought straight in by Ayres and he goes to ground. Brady Gray was trying to wrap up Pearce in the tackle. Pearce now was on top of Byrne and the umpire is going to take that one in.
Bit of a scrappy opening to this third term.
Ball went up, went to ground, trying to clear it out of there, and now taken in by Fisher, who's dived on by Nelson.
That may have slipped above the shoulder line.
Yep.
We're not going to be too critical of the umpires, but
that's okay. They've had
Fisher
a good season,
had
I
one
think.
there. You can say he's taking exception to his opponent.
So ball up again. The tap was one down by West Perth, but Fisher's going to collect it. Now going in for it is Gray. It was moved inside 50 and a good strong intercept mark was brought in by Pagarara. He's going to switch it across. Now with the footy, West Perth will kick it far down the line and high into a one-on-one contest, nearly taking it over the back. And now slung around and moved towards the Demons, who are in control of the footy. Sinclair kicked it forward and it managed to just drop perfectly into the hands of Austin Davis, who kicked it inside 50. Lovely intercept mark taken overhead, and the kick's gone in the direction now of Stephen Potente. Potente is going to switch it across to the far side of the ground. Tyson Moulton always easy to spot with those blue kicks that he's been wearing all season. Kicks it towards the boundary and the mark's taken in. West Perth slowing things down now.
And this is what they've done throughout the season, makes them so effective. They are the best kick mark team in the competition by far.
Kick down the line into a big contest. It just fell over the back and was nearly brought in. Kick out of trouble by College will trickle over the boundary.
Probably win there for the Demons, to be honest. And
yep,
they did well to get that ball back behind, get numbers back behind the ball there before it came back from half back. So a boundary throw in, 3 points the margin. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. Matt Chechens and Luke Worthington, thanks to front row screens. Ayres, interesting tap work to Gray. Still yet to kick a clean drop punt this afternoon. Nice strong work there from Stubbs, not allowing the West Perth ball carrier any room. That was Munns. We'll have to hand it back to the umpire. So important stoppage. Sharked at the back from Black. Disposal number 22 for him. Ball pitches awkwardly in the middle of the ground. Right on there from Antonio. That was good composure. Good work there from the Demons player in Austin Davis. He's been steady throughout the call. Riddick just shrugs off Singh like he was an empty tracksuit. Puts it out the side door to Manzoni, and in turn they're out now. Lynch can mark, steady, and push it across goals. Such promising build-up play, let down by the final component. How strong was Rudy Riddick there?
Very, yeah.
On the stretch, Sinclair.
So quick and strong.
Further out wide, so not gaining territory. They peel off that 45-degree kick. Corey Byrne. It's fair to say he'll be the fairest and best, I would say, for the Demons this season. To Gray. Slowly and steadily, much like the West Perth game style at the moment. The kick mark game, that goes 55 metres down the line. Well spoilt. Gordon back into Moulton, had to wait for the ball to pitch at his feet. Great composure. And stabs the kick through the heart of Mineral Resources Park onto the chest of Potente. Black trying to milk a 50-metre penalty. Just steps around the player on the mark. puts it long and high. Antonio sets himself. Well sport from him. In goes Byrne on hands and knees through the football. I don't think he has much to complain about Corey Byrne because the umpire was right there and would have had a perfect view. Curtis Snadden was singing his praises, and with good reason. He has been superb. Potente looks towards Keitel, who's offering his services out wide, and perfectly weighted kick for him out in front of the impressive Avery. Now he's going back with intent. The Bernie Naylor medalist for this season. I believe it's his second time he's won the coveted award. As the light tower shadow goes over the goal square, that's cheeky. And then gives the don't argue. Now he's running out of room. He wants a handball to himself. Tries to win the free kick, and after all of that tomfoolery, we're going to have a stoppage. In fact, it's going to be holding the ball. Some special comments from a couple of gentlemen sporting black and red jumpers just underneath us. So the free kick will go back to Keitel, and let's see if he tries something different now. Maybe a rainbow kick, or he's going around on an angle. Just double checking with the umpire. Jason Gibb, as he runs around, right foot snap on its way across the face of goal and through for a minor score.
So, one more minor score for West Perth.
Trouble.
And they're in trouble now. Antonio with the footy. I thought he might have carried it out of bounds, but now the ball's going to go over the top. It was battered down by McInnes. Gray, and a beautiful smother by Aaron Black. The boys getting around him immediately for that one. So, a boundary throw in. The ruck's going up for it. Ayres brought it down. Ball's fumbling around in the pack. It was handballed out of there. Nearly brought in by Edmonds. Umpire's going to have it again. A lot of stoppages in this third term.
So Austin Davis leading the way for the Demons, 16 disposals, and Aaron Black now up to 23. But snapping at his heels, Manzoni has 22 touches.
Oh, and a big tackle by Sasha Kerner. And
he is lucky.
Yeah.
Perkisic, that was holding the ball any day of the week.
Ayres bats it down. It was nearly pushed out of there by Byrne. Got the handball out to Carey, who moved it forward. A strong pair of hands on the wing. It was brought in by McInnes, and now nearly the intercept mark was taken. It's spilling over the back. Running onto it to get it out of trouble is Wilhelm. Wilhelm's going to kick it out of there, and the mark's taken. Strong hands Hamilton. So Hamilton, he'll slow things down like West Perth do. A kick down the line into a contest. It was nearly brought in. And now play continues. Potente. Riddick chipped it forward. It was a good kick. Keitel nearly got it. He's marked heavily by Avery. Riddick's going to bring it in now. Has a bit of open space. Whips it around inside 50, and it just went over the top of Potente, who gets wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire's going to have that one.
Oh, he gave himself every opportunity. It was literally probably 2-3 centimetres too high. Maybe if he didn't bite his nails, he might have reeled that mark in. One down by Keitel. A hit out for him. College sharks it somehow by Sinclair. Nice weighted kick for Singh, who marks in front of Riddick. He's got one option inboard, Brant College. Goes for a stroll through the middle of the ground. Interesting looking ball. Coming across, closing down was Munns. Perth still possibly with numbers over the back. Putting pay to that one was Hobley. Then they turn it over. So a chance for a bounce. They bring it near side to Carey. Went underneath him. Wilhelm with the crumbs. Neat footwork from him. Manzoni. Got two options down the line. One of those was Kernet, but not able to take the mark. And good closing speed on this occasion by young John, originally from Queen's Park Junior Footy Club, just his second game of league football this afternoon. Warm conditions, not necessarily sweltering, but it is spring. Giblet maybe impeded, trying to track the footy back and wearing one high, so that is contested footy at its best. Perkisic drops it down now. Didn't travel the required distance, so Byrne not paid the mark, but it didn't matter. Peeled off a lovely ball for John. John gains more territory. Zach Sanderson. He's got Sinclair hard running off half back, and that kick, whoa, it was almost an accident waiting to happen. Everyone with bated breath on that one. Inside 50, another errant kick. Wilhelm again chops it off to Riddick. Singh can't get there. West Perth running hard down the line. Black's one of them. Shin to him. That could be 50. Umpire gives Brant College the benefit of the doubt. So Black has to kick off a step. Does so accurately. Connor Lynch. To Black. Black's got Wilhelm. Feeds it off by hand, and Wilhelm to Kernan. Marks in front of John, can wheel and go if he likes, but instead goes to Keitel for the second time this term with a fend off from 50 metres. Got a fair bit of it, and it only just missed to the left-hand side. Promising work there from West Perth. They moved that ball so quickly from half-back, and unfortunately, the best goal kicker in the competition couldn't make them pay.
Would have been one for the highlight reel, that.
So I just feel that West Perth have confidence by moving the ball by foot. It's just up now as
big turnover now. Pegararo with the footy. Moved it across to Antonio, who kicks it into the square. And the mark was taken in right in front of goal by Tom O'Donnell. Sorry, my apologies. It was Shane Nelson, and directly in front. He's going to extend West Perth's lead.
First in the comp for disposals. None will be easier than that. He just got to the dangerous part of the ground, and he snaps across the body thanks to KCA site replays. We'll have a look at the mere formality of this man, and when a snap across the body generally will fall short. Thanks to Newtown Toyota, get the Newtown feeling. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard, and that is the biggest lead of the afternoon for West Perth. 12 points. Biggest lead for the Demons was 10 points midway through that second term, so we're back in the middle. Let's have a quick look at some of the numbers as we approach about halfway through this third term. Austin Davis with 18 disposals. He is on the kick-out duties, and Aaron Black up to 25 disposals now for West Perth. Have a secondary baller. Attacking side of the bullseyes for the Demons, kicking to the left of your screen. Trying to snap a 16-game hoodoo at this ground against West Perth. Gray, I'm not sure there's any stat that outlines contested kicks, but he must have had at least 10 of them today. Brown kicked a freak goal earlier this afternoon. Won't provide any more impact there. Black, just such a hard runner. That's 50.
That should be 50.
Has to be. It's not. Well, that's interesting. Black, disposal number 26, straight down the throat of Giblet. Giblet just kicked in the middle of Gray's back. Gray manages to get a disposal, probably one he didn't want. They turn it over. Fisher's grubber kick. Back to Black, touch 27. Not one of his better ones. John couldn't take the mark. Keitel with the crumbs. Riddick sells Candy to Sinclair. Steps around the would-be tackler to Lynch. Closes on 50, does the team thing and chips it onto the chest of Antonio. And you rewind back, and that's probably a passage of play that can sum up the season for the Redlegs. And that's good work on the broadcast wing. They kick into their own teammates' back. They turn it over, and it ends up with Antonio the set shot going the other way.
So Antonio has had a great season, and this would extend their lead to a greater margin.
18 points.
There we go.
I could smell burning toast, so I kind of knew that you're doing mental maths. Bang.
18-point lead. Thanks, Matt Churchins. West Perth leading Perth. I was nearly there, I'm telling you. There we go. Pen license and mental maths. Maybe primary school failed me a little bit.
I was waiting for the smoke alarm to go off because I could see steam coming out of one of your ears, and the awkward moment where you don't pass year 3 maths. But anyway, Luke.
16 goals on the season for Antonio. That's his second of the afternoon. There's some maths for you. 7-5-47 Perth. Trail West Perth 9-11-65 at home.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's only Antonio's first.
Really?
Yep. Back in the middle. My colleague and Luke Worthington reaching for the calculator and the abacus all in one.
Brilliant.
Back in the middle, one down by Ayres. Gray tumbles one end over end. Out comes McInnes, looking to clear house. And that could almost be holding the ball. We'll wait. A bit stiff to ping the man that got steamrolled by Fraser McInnes. And number 36 in Mark Hamilton. A spatula to scrape him up. Black, bit of tunnel ball from him. In goes Byrne, receding hand pass to Gray. Kicks to a one-on-one in the goal square. Read better by Moulton. Plays on right next to the point post and delivers it to Riddick. Wastes no time. He's got Black. Black can go further down the line towards Pearce. Pearce marks right in front of his colleagues in the interchange gates for the Falcons. Just moves it laterally. Manzoni loads up. John with his head over the football. Clever hand pass in the end. Fisher. They close him down. He gets a kick away. All players taking their eyes off the footy was Munns. Back to Hamilton. Sweeps it wide to Manzoni, to Gordonen. So good in the opening term. Not one of his better ones, but Moulton has got an absolute acre. Elects to just spear one to vacant turf. Probably an interesting decision. That could almost be deliberate. Nope, the umpire says toss it in. Probably could have done much more than that, Moulton. He's been superb and he's a very, very consistent player, but he had so much time and space across left half back.
Boundary throw in far side. 18-point lead for West Perth. 4 minutes gone in the third term. Ball spills out. It was brought in by the Demons and looks like it just travelled over the boundary line.
Can give a quick score update. The Tigers have extended their lead. They lead Swan Districts by 23 points. Peel Thunder have kicked 5 goals to 1 in the third term. So they're trailing by 18 points now, and South Fremantle with a 33-point lead over the Eagles reserves.
There we go. So boundary throw in far side. Ayres going up for it against Mallard, and it's kicked forward by West Perth into a one-on-one contest. Ball hits the ground. Trying to get it out of there was Kerner. Now running onto it. A shot on goal looks good. Very good. Connell Lynch extends the lead out to 24.
Well, Kerner, I'm not sure if it was a legal hand pass or not. I mean, we're 150 metres away. Have a look at this. Yeah, it was. Almost like a quarterback handing it off to the running back in the NFL. Slick hands. We've seen 2 of those today. Earlier from Giblet that led to that Brown goal. And what a fantastic, slick bit of work there under heavy duress. And Connell Lynch not easy in the latter stages of the term. Manages to thread it through. 23 minutes almost elapsed, and it's getting a little out of hand now. West Perth have really clicked. They're winning pretty easy footy across half-back when Perth do go forward. And the forwards are making them pay coming the other way. So 7-5 to 10-11. 24 points is that margin. The biggest lead of the afternoon, thanks to Provident Capital Partners. Their sponsorship of our scoreboard this afternoon. Perth won't add to their score. They can just stroll through the middle of the park. Now, kicks up to a one-on-one. Perth with numbers. Good work in tight there from the Demons as they kick out towards Giblet, who's just ushered under the football there by Pecoraro, who's running out of space but does brilliantly in the end, just lowers his eyes and finds Mallard. Now they've got time and space through the middle. Wilhelm, such a lovely user of the football, won't get to its intended target this time. Well done, Kernett. Spins around, spots Lynch again. 2 assists in the space of 2 minutes, and Lynch, from much closer in, punches it into the advertising hoardings, and the Falcons are steamrolling their way to another win here at Mineral Resources Park. And again, Kernett, thanks to KCA's site,
great game.
Brilliant. Yeah. Considering he kicked 0-5 in an upset loss last week. And we've got to credit Lynch as well, because he's made a lot of ground there from the arc of 50 and gets rewarded. He's second of the game.
30-point lead now. That happened quick. Really got out of hand fast. .24.5 minutes gone.
Well, 4 goals to 0 in this term.
Yep.
It's basically going to shut the door, you would suggest.
Ready to go back in the middle. Ayres won the tap down against O'Donnell. O'Donnell collects it, kicks it around the body. Mark was nearly taken in, and he thought he had it but didn't. And Singh got wrapped up in the tackle hard. And now the danger man again, Connell Lynch with the footy. Moves it to Keitel, the mark's taken. So Keitel is definitely within range here. Shouldn't be too much of an issue for him. Tyler Keitel only kicked 1 on the afternoon. Unusual for him as this one sails towards goal. And it's gone to the left-hand side. Tyler Keitel, like you said, has been marked very heavily by Avery today, and he's done a fantastic job as it moves out into the middle. Ball went to ground. It's spilling around and trying to move it out of there's McInnes, but it's going to go straight into the hands of Black. The intercept mark's taken. He gets the handball away, and they're going to move it back for Moulton. Moulton kicks it to the far side, and the West Perth kick mark game is going to bleed down until the end of this quarter, one would assume. Tom O'Donnell with the footy, tried to move it towards Keitel, nearly took the mark. It's going to spill over the back. Avery was trying to get it. Now Perth moved the footy out of defensive 50. Singh running towards it, just overshot the mark, and that's going to do it for the third term. A 31-point lead for the Falcons. 4 goals to zip on the quarter. 7-5-47. The Demons, they trail the Falcons 11-12. 78 Matt Chechens.
Well, Perth only able to muster 1 behind in that term to the left of your screen. West Perth kicked 4 goals unanswered. In fact, they kicked 4 goals 5, so Perth lucky to still be within reasonable striking distance as we turn for home here. It is West Perth rolling their way to an elimination final next week against Swan Districts. 11-12-78, leading the Demons 7-5-47. Can the Demons respond in the 4th term? Stay tuned. All the answers on the other side.
Today, we'll make sure the Miller family confidently picks the car their growing family needs and that they get a great deal. Over the next few years, we'll make sure their car still performs at its best. And when Abby's old enough to drive, we'll look after her too. Newtown Toyota. Our family's proud to be part of your family's journey. Contact us today at Newtown Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
West Perth, you would definitely suggest the more happier of the two teams at the three-quarter time huddles here at Mineral Resources Park. Thanks to front row screens, the Optus round 22, the final home and away round of the season, the WAFL, and thanks to Newtown Toyota and KCA Site Services, and obviously Hungry Jacks as well as Perth. They've got one term of football remaining in what has been a disappointing 2021 for them. A 4-goal-to-none term. The Demons could only muster one behind to 4-5, kicked to the right of screen by West Perth. And leading the way again is Black, 29 disposals. He had 10 in the first term. Luke Worthington, 10 in the second term and 9 in that quarter. He also has 8 marks, and you would suggest the maximum Sandover votes at three-quarter time.
Yeah, absolutely, and the disposals have been quality. He's been all over the footy. He's made a couple of tackles as well from memory, and yeah, quite a few, so 4 tackles, yeah, all over the footy, quality disposals, and he's been an absolutely influential piece, especially in that third term.
The number that surprises me is the inside 50 count, because West Perth dominated. They had they kicked 4 goals 5, so they had 9 scoring shots to just 1. They only had 4 more inside 50s in that term, so that was knotted up at 22 apiece.
Yep.
Now West Perth lead that category 35-31, but Perth, unfortunately, have really butchered the football, particularly in that third term, and not really getting those clean entries inside forward 50, whereas West Perth have just stung them coming the other way, and their rebound football has been something to behold. So going through the goal kickers, firstly for West Perth, Shane Nelson has 2, as does Connell Lynch. Kicked both of his in the third term. Individual goal kickers and Keegan Knott, Mitchell Antonio. Also, Thomas O'Donnell has kicked 1. Stephen Patente, Tyler Keitel has 1. And Sasha Kernet, who has been tremendous in the forward line. Not enough goals, clearly, again, the same old song for the Perth Demons. Christian Carey, 2 goals to quarter time. Mitch Brown kicked one of the goals of the season. Sam Stubbs, Clayton Giblett, Fraser McInnes, and also Jack Steele, the individual goal kicker. And there is Mitchell Antonio. Lovely set shot. And the number 23 just on screen. You won't see a better hand pass of the round than that onto Lynch. That was the first of his 2 goals in this term. Made no mistake. And then a lovely little assist coming forward again. Have a look at this. Kernet diving it up, is what they would say in the hard court game. Off to Lynch. You're not going to get an easier goal than that.
Not at all. And we can see Kernet again. Yeah, that was the goal.
So we might just quickly go around the grounds, thanks to Optus. Three-quarter time at Revo Fitness Stadium. It is Claremont by 23 points. Three-quarter time down at David Gray's Arena. In fact, no, that's not three-quarter time, but after trailing by 9 goals, Peel have kicked 5 goals to 1 against Subiaco, and have closed to 28 points or thereabouts. So an interesting game on there. And South Fremantle comfortably over West Coast. They lead by 33 points there at three-quarter time. So you would suggest that the ladder won't budge at this stage.
I think
It'll be Subiaco.
Yep.
If all goes to form from now on in the last 30 minutes or so across the grounds here in the competition, Subiaco will finish first, South Fremantle second, Claremont will finish third, West Perth will finish fourth, and Swan Districts will finish fifth, and cap off a very brilliant season for their club, Swan Districts.
As we go to centre.
So back in the middle, the last term of the season, Optus 2021 season for the Perth Demons, and West Perth looking to pile on the misery. They've dominated the Demons. In fact, they haven't lost on this ground to Perth since 2004. And they come forward straight away. Spearing ball towards Antonio. Whacked out of his clutches. Awkward spinning ball at the moment. Good work at ground level. And Shane Nelson with a slick hand pass, and we've got a stoppage. So Ayres has battled manfully on the ball this afternoon. Jordan Reid is a young player that stepped up from Mount Barker, unfortunately missing today. Ayres paddled it up and back into his own hands. Brown ducked his head, but slick hands to Byrne. They're away now, one-on-one inside 50. They've moved Sinclair in front of the footy. Well sport from him. Running out of room and space there was Hobley, but he fired off the effective hand pass. Moulton runs through the bullseyes, lowers his eyes. Mark not taken. It's going to be taken instead by Kernet. He's already kicked 2. Can he kick 3? Yes, he can. 2 goals in the first half, and he gets the ultimate start there. He's such a polished player. It looks like he has such ample time with ball in hand, and he had a couple of people running past his left shoulder and just elected to steady himself, take it upon himself, and may find himself in the finals lineup next week, you would suggest, kicking 3 goals and setting up 2 or more goals this afternoon, Luke.
Yep, this has been his biggest performance of the season so far. Hasn't kicked more than a goal in a game. This is his 3rd game of league footy. And his 3rd game of league footy. Hasn't kicked more than a goal a game, even in the reserves. And just come into this game now, and to come in and kick 3 is a big effort. And you know, he hasn't looked out of place one bit.
I'm just having a look at potentially who could come into that forward line. Not many. Maybe Alexandre. He's kicked 4 goals for, so he might find himself playing elimination final.
LaFontaine got wrapped up hard, and the umpire is going to have to bring it in on the far side of the ground. It'll be a ball up inside the West Perth 50. Keitel went up for it. Ball spilling around. It got handballed away and kicked back inside 50 for West Perth. It was spoiled over the boundary line. And another stoppage inside the West Perth attacking 50.
So going back to Kernet, from Lions Rovers, I believe, in Kalgoorlie.
Yep. So here, from the GFL.
Chris Miller, family friend of ours, was a product of Lions Rovers before playing 150 games for East Fremantle and South Fremantle.
Always amazes me how you just know this stuff.
Might have actually played for Railways, actually. Chris Miller, my mistake, but still a fantastic breeding ground for footy.
So here we go, West Perth with a set shot, pretty tough angle, far out. Distance doesn't look to be a problem. And it's gone through to the left-hand side anyway. Would have been a goal review type scenario with where it was touched on the line, but did end up going through. Shane Nelson with the behind. Ball travelled out, was taken in by Sanderson. Now trying to crumb it, West Perth. The handball's gone all the way inside 50 and was almost rebounded back out. A kick around the body, almost in the direction of the West Perth forward, but it's trickled out of bounds by the looks of things. So a boundary throw in deep in West Perth's attacking territory. Keitel going up for it against Ayres. Clearing it out of trouble is Gray. Big contest for the footy. And wrapped up at the fall of the ball. It'll be a stoppage, and the umpire will take it in. Sanderson was the man that got tackled.
Shout out to Paul Slater, says, come on West Perth, you'd be happy, as would Linda Cook. Rather not Linda Cook. She says, come on, Redlegs, you can do this. Leanne Scarterfield would be happy. Go Falcons.
Manzoni kicked it inside 50, and at the back of the contest, the mark's taken in by Antonio. So Mitch Antonio is going to have a chance to add to their tally.
Well, statistically, the Falcons finish games off poorly. They've only won 6 of 16 first terms with the 1 draw, so that's a 35% win rate. So better signs for them. They want to be playing 4 quarters of footy come the pointy end of the season.
Antonio for his second from a slide angle. It sails all the way across the face of goal. It's spilt out, and now snapping it around the body is Cornet for his third.
Well, if that doesn't seal your spot in the lineup.
That was actually his fourth. I've shortchanged him there.
I can't sing his praises highly enough, and I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but he did kick 0-5. Now, silver lining to that is that you've got to get yourself in a position to have a scoring shot, but he has really made these chances pay today, and it all started with that set shot in the first term, 45 metres out, and no doubt that would have been playing on his mind, but he made no mistake, and then that's really just snowballed in his positive performance this afternoon, and might be challenging Black for best on ground honours at this stage.
Yeah, he'll get a couple of votes in this game, and what a performance for someone to come up third game of league footy. I mean, shoe-in for 2 votes.
He judges the drop of the football so well. He looks like he has ample time as well, which is a sign of a good player, and he's gone back to the goal square so he could fill his boots this afternoon. Here they come again. Riddick will hand it back. He gets it back now after the free kick's been paid. Lace out. Is that mark going to be paid to Knott? Yes. Towards Keitel, who stumbled, didn't impact him, and Byrne was too late on the scene trying to come across from half back, and Keitel marks and should make no mistake. 40 metres out, bang in front of the big sticks. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. 44-point lead. This to make it 50. The best goal kicker in the competition by far this season. Shows why. His second. 64 goals in the 2021 OPTUS WAFL season. I'm not sure what the Perth defenders are trying to do. It's a bit late in the season, after you finish second bottom, to be wrestling with one of the better goal kickers in the comp.
A commanding lead now, West Perth, 50 points. Wow, that happened in all of 30 minutes, it seems.
As we said, they're kicking at 57% goal kicking accuracy. That doesn't include shots that go out of bounds on the full or don't, or fail to register. So again, you take those stats with a pinch of salt. I mean, 27 scoring shots to 12. You know that their defence will probably hold up in finals footy, but they will want to get kicked straighter, because coming up against teams like Swan Districts, who have had their woes in front of goal throughout the season. But I mean, if you want to get to that pointy end of the season, you're going to have to beat teams like South Fremantle or even Subiaco, who just do such a great job in limiting scoring shots. So it's something that will need to be addressed, because they've been rather inaccurate the last couple of weeks. Obviously last week kicking 9 goals, 23. So there goes Antonio, paddles it forward up towards Riddick, who toes it forward again, looking for Keitel. He's outpointed this time, so well done to the Demons defence. And they get the relieving kick out towards Stubbs. Pretty consistent performer, moves it out wide. Back to John now. He's about to be set upon by 3 Falcons. Was that holding the ball? Correct disposal, said the umpire. As he puts his head again over the football, gets done this time. So once, got away with it. Second time, not on this occasion. And the Demons turn it over. So Antonio screaming for the football. Keitel out in the lead over his head and swallowed up by the one of the best halfbacks that's ever played for the Perth Demons. You can easily say that in Sinclair. To Edmonds. Perth, with credit to them, still trying to move the ball forward. Stubbs pitches at his feet, good composure. Back to the way of Avery, floats it over the head now. Kicks out towards the wing. Gray flew, couldn't take the mark out of play.
Commanding lead, West Perth, and a boundary throw-in on the far side. 50 points is the margin, 10 minutes gone in the fourth term. All but a formality from here, and they'll secure their fourth spot. Ball dribbles out and was taken in by Byrne. Finding the sanctuary of the boundary was Fisher. Boundary throw-in on the far side, just underneath the new scoreboard, nearly, actually. What a handy thing for us to have up here, that scoreboard. It's absolutely massive. Play continues. John nearly ran onto it. Gray snapped it around the body. West Perth closing in on it now. Kick's going to travel inside 50. At the fall of the ball's Keegan Knott. He's read it well. The kick on goal is perfect. $56 points the margin. They move into triple digits. 7-5-47 Perth. They trail West Perth 15-3, 103.
Well, he hasn't been noticeable this game, but when he does do something, it generally results in 6 points, and he only needs half a square metre of space, and that's what he can do. So he's kicked 2 this afternoon, low disposals, but he's provides such a perfect complement for Keitel and others. They look to have unearthed another crumbing type of player in Kernet. We know how good Rudy Riddick is, so arguably the best forward line in the competition. Back in the middle, McInnes has moved onto the ball now. And will take on Tom O'Donnell. Perfect bounce, favoured McInnes. Byrne, set upon, front on, toes it forward. Edmonds runs into a dead end. Fed it off to College. Somehow manufactures a kick. It was well corralled by Wilhelm. Little blind hand pass there from Manzoni was effective. Gordonen to Wilhelm. Was looking to the far side of the ground and now runs out of time. Just peels one off to O'Donnell. They play the 1-2. Defensive edge of the square to Keitel. More one around the back of the ears. Just kicking practice now for West Perth. Black. Keitel's done a lot of work. Black feigns the hand pass to him. Closed down by John. No way that was 15 metres. Back inboard. Pearce. Got 3 options behind his back, but elects to just chip to the far side of the ground. Taking the air out of that now, and he will bring it back. That is a poor kick, and open the door, and they could be out now. This is Giblet. He can afford a bounce. Second bounce, a rare turnover from the West Perth backman results in a major. So well done, Giblet, not giving up the ghost, but that was a poor decision after they looked to control tempo, and the man from Dean Mill kicks his second of the day. Likes that end of the ground. He kicked his first in the second term, and thanks to KCA site replay, that is a poor kick coming back to Gordon, and not his fault. And a chance for 2 bounces there, thanks to Newtown Toyota. Get the Newtown feeling, and Giblet does that, his second. So damage control moves that margin back to 50 points. We approach 14 minutes travelled on the Provident Capital Partners scoreboard. Demons will look for back-to-back goals. If they can win this quarter, they'll round out their season. So McInnes has been moved back onto the ball. Again, the bounce favours him. Too high for Byrne, that was held. And taken to ground. There shouldn't be 50 metres there, so Byrne wins it. Top 10 in the competition in tackles and leading a lot of categories for the Demons. That's not his best effort. So they turn it over. Kernet kicks over the head there of Keitel. Foot race. Avery Well, he's getting corralled in that pocket. Good composure, young man. Just has the bounce now. Can wheel away. Delivers perfectly to Edmonds on the far side. Now, the Demons have got numbers through the corridor. Sinclair feeds it off by hand. This is better signs now for the Redlegs. Sweeping hand pass to Byrne. He has to try and fend off. Did so effectively and delivers just a little short. Well read by Gordon. And still a lot to do for the Falcons' defence. Good composure now as Pecoraro leaves that immediate danger, and the Falcons again stand up across their full back line.
Kick into the hands of his West Perth teammate on the pain of 50.
Wilhelm.
It was Wilhelm, yep. And
didn't learn from their last mistake, did they?
Switch it across to Manzoni. And Moulton with the kick down the line for Keegan. Not, and he's managed to break his ankles there almost as he kicks it towards Riddick. Rudy kicks it inside 50, but it's just fallen short of the mark. And Avery probably just to get one off
chose
Keitel.
The wrong option there, because he went for Keitel when he had Kernet probably on the 45 degrees. So poor decision from Rudy.
Moving it through the corridor, Perkisic has the footy. He handballed it away for Ayres. Now trying to move it inside 50, and a shot on goal was perfect. They close in slightly. 44 points the margin.
Well, obviously too little too late, but much better signs this time. And Blake Wilhelm, who's battled injuries, comes off the ground for West Perth, and Mark Hamilton, who's really stood up. Very athletic player, 195 centimetres, 86 kilograms from Palmerston. Approaching 100 games in the WAFL. This is his 96th. Could potentially play his 100th in the grand final. Who knows? Back in the middle. We made a change. Mallard back on the ball now as Perth look for 3 unanswered here. Lynch just overran the football. Hand pass was smothered. Gray elects to just volley the ball. Good composure again from West Perth, except for that little hand pass. They bring it out to Nelson. Happy to just rack up the possessions now. Nelson, neat kick. Mark Hamilton straight off the interchange gates. Manzoni, hard running from him. That kick might land short. Well done, Sinclair. Provided the contest. Does well to just step through the heavy traffic. They could be out now if Fisher gets on the end of this hand pass. Oh, is that dropping the footy? It is. So caught in two minds, unfortunately. It's Christian Carey, and he had Fisher screaming for the footy, but just couldn't get there in time. So they turned it over, and they're out on the far side of the ground now, the Falcons.
Footy in the hands of Stephen Potente. 18 minutes of rolling time gone in the fourth term. Potente kicks it into a big contest. A lot of players going up for it. Perth managed to move it out of there. It falls just short of the target. Now moving it in is Riddick, a shot! And he's got it! By the looks of things, and John didn't quite get there on the line. Their lead goes back out to 50 points. I'm very bad at maths. really
just
bad.
The absolute fear of getting that word out.
Well, I'm also preempting the scoreboard. There's that element. I mean, I'm going above my level here.
We all have weaknesses.
I chose to talk as part of the work that I do, and you know, they didn't say that mental maths was going to be in the job description. As a primary school teacher, I'm sure it hurts you.
It's all good.
Learning times tables and things like that.
Fractions is the big one. Five out of 4 people know that, Luke. Here comes Byrne. Slick little hand pass to Fisher, who can wheel away and just kick high and in hope. Looking for College, almost reels in an impressive contested mark. Was that a throw to Manzoni? Yes, it was. Or it could be a dangerous tackle. So the second option. Apologies for any of that language that was picked up by the... All right, I'll just talk over the gentleman just sitting to our right. Thanks for joining us on Front Row Screens. It was a tremendous game in the first half as the free kick comes back to West Perth. And they move it laterally. Munns. Well smothered by Fisher. Lays a good secondary tackle. That is deemed high. Well, prepare yourself for the chorus of boos at home. So the sting really out of this contest. 9-5 to 16-13. Convincing. Antonio high up the ground. No one within 15 metres of him. Elects not to play on. Bring it out. Potente to Lynch. My apologies to Tristan Hobley. It was him. Hobley to Black. Plays the hand pass. May give it off to Manzoni. He does. He'll kick from smack bang in the middle of Mineral Resources Park.
Keitel just got ripped down by Avery.
And that is a rough tackle. Dangerous. And now the players will pile in. We don't like to see this because that was a definite free kick.
And if only the call on Keitel had been made prior to this.
So you can see this is a bit of a mess at the moment. Players, some of the West Perth players will probably choose not to get involved here. Now the umpire's going to let this play. Not has done the right thing and he's burst towards the goal square, but they're going to bring it back and probably rightfully so. Could be a 50-metre penalty here. We're just waiting on the umpire. He will pay 50. So a bit to go on. West Perth obviously more to play with. They play for, I should say. They don't want to be giving away any silly free kicks, and that's an easy goal. They will get around him after being dumped in that tackle. So Mark Hamilton. Now they're getting around him like that might be his first ever goal. On his sixth game, you never know because he is a backline player.
Yeah,
who knows?
It was. Yep, it was.
First goal ever.
Yep. So
for his career.
This season. But
just have a look at his career stats. That'll be your homework. Luke Worthington as the carnage is cleared by the umpires. Good officiating, keeping them under wraps. So let's hope it doesn't boil over. 9-5 to 17-13
not quite. It was his 13th career goal, but his first of the season.
Oh, brilliant.
So.
I think they were more getting around him because he was dumped in a very rough tackle.
Still, again, his first goal of the season on round 22.
Yeah,
not bad. Just scraped it in with, less than 8 minutes of rolling time left in the regular season.
Perfect bounce. One down by Ayres to Byrne. Now the non-officiating umpire spotted something, and it's going to be down the ground. Now they're bringing it back. So a little bit of calisthenics going on at the moment. Stubbs tries to deliver for College. Slap from his clutches. Back into the hands of Carey. Has to kick a banana up towards McInnes at full forward. Munns to Gordon. Players just slipping over. Dry conditions at the moment. Hand pass back to Ayres. Did well, the big man, under duress. Kicks up towards a 2-on-1 that favours West Perth. Spoilt back in towards the middle of the ground. Is that incorrect disposal? No, said the umpire. McInnes, swinging boot. Up towards the kickoff line. Hand pass. Ooh, it's a dangerous one. Still in the middle of the ground. Good composure. Again, this time from Scott Nelson. Relieves a little bit of pressure. Well done, Knott. Clever little slap. Can they keep that forward momentum? Not on this occasion. Brown ran into trouble. Did get the effective hand pass away, but that's gone straight up and down and into the bread basket of Blake Wilhelm. Called to play on now, so we'll chip back to Gordon. Gordon has the last goal kicker in Mark Hamilton. Time to afford a rare fumble for him. Potente took over 24.5 minutes. Thanks to Provident Capital Partners. He looks for options. Down the line, Keitel sets himself. Well sport from him by Avery. Somehow kept alive by Moulton to Lynch to Keitel on the wing. Not one of his better kicks, but it's going to hit Kernet. Keeps the ball in front of him. Just manages to wheel away there from Austin Davis.
Very good.
Couldn't evade the tackle there of Brady Gray, one of the better tacklers in the competition. Towed inside, somehow sharp by Antonio. And
whoops.
Was rather unconventional, much like watching a camel try to nip that attempt at goal, and that has gone out of bounds on the full. Here's Avery, liked his game today. Kicks dangerously across the face of goal, but can pitch at the feet now. This is Singh. Singh's got runners whistling past, and Davis had plenty of footy this afternoon to Ayres, bounce awkwardly in front of the big man. Did well. Floating hand pass towards Edmonds, can lower the eyes. Honours the lead of Sanderson. Sanderson's got Gray running past him now, ignores him, loads up, kicks up towards full forward, and again the Falcons can just reset from their defensive goal square through Gordon.
Potente with the footy. Siren should not be long. Taking it in was O'Donnell. Going to wait and find Antonio just at the edge of the centre square. Falcons have barely given up possession of the footy in this fourth term. Pearce with the mark. Moves it far across, and it's taken in by Pecoraro. And he's going to find Wilhelm. On the far side of the ground, it's Hobley. Kick went over the top and might just find the boundary. No. Where it, they were locked up there like two bulls locking horns.
Well, you know what that looked like? That looked like a scrum in the rugby sevens, where they get a 1 or 2 man scrum. I mean, that was very interesting. So ball up.
That looked weird, didn't it? Oh, ball goes to ground, and yeah, there'll be another ball up. That was good. Rugby 7 scrums are one of the weirdest things in sports.
It's almost like a scrum in rugby league. I don't know why they do it. It's just a waste of time. They throw it in backwards and then they're off. But anyway, stick to the greatest game in the world.
So, kick around the body is going to travel towards Kernet. He just didn't have the reach. And wrapped up hard in the air was Keegan Knott. But the ball's going to spill out. Play will continue.
That's another sling.
Big tackle. It was Avery.
On Lynch.
And Avery's actually ended up with the footy there.
Oh, I don't know how that tackle from Avery was any different to the last one. Yeah. Well, both teams out on their feet at the moment. I mean, this heat's been pretty energy sapping, you would say. Gray busts through the middle, delivers it to McInnes. Oh, Edmonds almost got wrapped up. Luckily, he had John, who can tow it down the line towards College. He was pushed off it.
Antonio's come straight off, holding his hamstring after that tackle attempt.
Gee, well, that could be a big out. Gray corkscrews one, and that's going to be marked. Bang in front of the big sticks. So Gray again wins so much contested footy, and Jack Steele, who kicked one earlier today, a chance to kick his second. Came in with 2 goals on the season and a big chance to end 2020 with 4. Mere formality. From Canning South, Perth. .29 minutes have elapsed. Provident Capital Partners scoreboard, the
50 points by the way.
Yeah. Well done. Final moments of this home and away season, and Brady Gray can hold his head high this afternoon. Interesting to see where he plays next year. I'm not sure if he's signed on again for Perth or if he could potentially end up on a list somewhere else in the AFL. Who knows? Originally from the Burnie Dockers, he was picked up by Freo. before heading over to West Coast, where I believe he does a bit of coaching work there, or development role. Bumped into a good friend of his in Simon Mackin earlier today, former WA fast bowler, originally from Tamil. Stubbs, wrapped up, somehow disposes of the football. Wrapped up for a second time. We will wait for the umpire who calls an end to that stalemate. We want to clear a bit of traffic around him and tosses it back up wide on airs. West Perth player taken without it.
Oh, only big home and away season. Done.
Only 6 forwards inside forward 50 at the moment, rather 6 players total. 3 and 3. Sinclair not paid the mark. Not gets ridden into the turf. No prior. 10-5, 65 to 17-13.
So sirens at any moment. I guess West Perth will be playing Swan Districts in Joondalup next week. How do you see them going?
Yeah, I think I would favour the home team in that one. If it's still blue, maybe, but
yeah,
it's going to be a fantastic final series. I don't think Swan Districts or West Perth can threaten for the flag. I think it is a race in probably 3. Well, clearly would be a race in 3. I still like the Tigers.
Yeah, I like them.
Because
I really like Subiaco. It's quite obvious, but I don't think that they're going to be trouble.
Their brand of footy stacks up, defensive brand of football.
Exactly. But, and here we go.
And that will do it. Home and away season done and dusted. Congratulations again. Go to West Perth. That's 16 wins now and 1 draw in the last 17 meetings here at Mineral Resources Park in Laff Lane, and an all too familiar sight if you're a fan of the Red Legs. But congratulations to the Cardis. 17-13. 115 defeating Perth 10-5, 65, and that margin 50 points. We'll run through some of the numbers and wrap up some of the scores. You would suggest that the ladder won't budge after the conclusion of the round 22 OPTUS WAFL season. And your thoughts, Luke Worthington? It was an entertaining game in the first half before West Perth, and we're not putting down Perth at all, but West Perth, they provided to be a class above. Particularly, they've got more healthy bodies at this end time of the season, and Perth have been decimated by that. They had a few players that stood up today, but it was just too much class from West Perth. Yeah,
West Perth are a team that are gearing up for finals. They're gearing up for a solid campaign. Look, it's probably a little bit more than likely that they will go ahead and have a good game against Swan Districts next week and possibly move on. So they're a team that's gearing up for a deep finals campaign. Perth, look, they've had one of the unluckiest seasons that we've seen in recent memory, as well as just sometimes they're just not on a lot of the time. And I think the most frustrating thing about Perth is that we see these absolute flashes of brilliance. They'll go out there and knock off some top sides a couple of weeks in a row, and then they'll lose 10 or 11 games in a row, and that kind of sums them up. You never really know what you're going to get. Even for the first half of this game, they were so impressive, and then it just dropped and dropped and dropped, and the momentum went away.
So 10 goals, 6 West Perth piled on after half-time to just 3 goals, 1. So Perth were right there. They actually led at quarter time. They had a 4-point edge. It was 3-3 to 2-5, and then West Perth with a very late goal to Kernet in the second term, led by 3 points. And as we have a look at some of the match highlights, this was the
big
first goal of the afternoon. Fraser McGuinness thought he was pretty good today. Took a couple of good strong marks and pinch hit in the ruck as well. But firstly, we'll go through some of the numbers for the team on the losing end of things today. Brady Gray, probably best for the Redlegs. 26 disposals, had 9 inside 50s and 5 tackles. Brody Gray, who only ended up with 6 disposals, managed to lay 9 tackles today. So credit to him. I thought Austin Davis was pretty good today. He had a lot of the kick-out duties, but he ended up with 23 disposals. And Fraser McGuinness, 16 disposals, 14 hit-outs, 7 marks rather, and 5 tackles.
Christian Ayres being chairlifted off.
Right, in fact, that was Matt Rogers, so that must be the end of his career. Yep. Rogers, who ended his last game in the reserves in Brant College, so...
But it was as being chairlifted off.
No, Matty Rogers, who suited up in the reserves, so he might be done.
All right.
Interesting. Let's have a look at some of the numbers. First of all, for West Perth, Trent Manzoni, 34 disposals, 7 marks. Aaron Black, best on ground, 33 touches, 10 marks and 5 tackles. Shane Nelson, with his customary 25 touches. He also had 2 goals. And we need to acknowledge the wonderful efforts of Sasha Kernett. 15 disposals, 4 marks, 3 tackles, 4 goals, and 3 goal assists.
15 disposals, 7 of them resulted in a score.
Yeah.
It was like, and it was like the other 8 of them, I noticed every single one of them. You know, 15 disposals, you're not really going to go ahead and probably get best on ground or anything like that. I mean, you know, I'd put him in for 1 or 2 votes today for sure. But, you know, it's not going to be one of those performances that sticks out on the stat sheet forever. But, you know, when you watch that game, you'd almost think that he had 25, the way that he was just all over the place. In his 3rd game of league footy as well, I was doing a bit of research on him. He was playing for the Mines Rovers and then moved to Perth.
Yep.
West Perth saw a little bit of talent in him and he just went and trained with them and saw how he went, and here we are. So a 26-year-old man now looks like he could be a mainstay in the WAFL after playing in the GFL for his whole career.
So just summing up, we're going to go around the competition, and thanks to Optus, Claremont have defeated Swan Districts 11-11-77 to Swan Districts 8-7-55. So that margin, 22 points. South Fremantle accounting for West Coast 13-17-95 to 7-8-50. That margin, 45 points. So have a look at this for a comeback that has only just fallen short. Peel Thunder at half-time with 3 goals 6, trailing Subiaco 12-3. They have ended up just falling 4 points short. They've kicked 10 goals 5 to Subiaco's 2 goals 6.
Wow.
So 13-11-89. Peel Thunder just falling short against Subiaco 14-9-93. That would have been the minor premiership given to South Fremantle had Peel Thunder overcame that massive margin. So that's 2 weeks in a row for Peel Thunder. A big comeback win over Perth the other week, and then just falling short now against the minor premiers. So with Perth running out with West Perth running out with a 50-point win there. So the ladder doesn't budge. Subiaco in 1st, South Fremantle 2nd, Claremont 3rd. West Perth will host Swan Districts in elimination final. So all to play for there. And congratulations again must go to West Perth, who have run out convincing winners again here at Mineral Resources Park. Final score 17-13 to 10-5-65. That's a wrap for the Perth Demons season in 2021. They'll look to reset. I would dare say that their recruiting staff will need to get busy and try and recruit at least a key forward and potentially a couple of midfield players, with a couple of players retiring obviously at the end of the season. Well, thanks mate. Yeah, thanks Luke Worthington for your input. It's been great calling throughout the home and away season.
Hopefully see you soon. Tentative to what finals were put on. And
the finals around the corner. Thanks again to Matt Williamson. Superb work for Front Row Screens, our producer, and teeing up everything. And to Paul Persick as well, who works really hard. And to all of our camera crew for their wonderful work throughout the season, bringing you some of the best action in the competition, and also our replays as well. So Matt Chetters on behalf of the Front Row Screens team, we look forward to joining you in the final series just next week, and stay tuned. Make sure you give a like on Facebook, Front Row Screens, and thanks again to the Optus WAFL for having us on board. We look forward to the pointy end of the season starting next week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week, folks.